Oh, shit. Oop, that was quick. I expected a few minutes before I got patrons in here. Welcome back, Colin, Jason, Rob. Hopefully everyone else will make it back too. We've got the beverages, getting the beverages ready. I don't have the beverage ready, but I am getting it ready. Oh, this glass is dirty. Yeah, I'd clean it, but I don't really care. And welcome back, Daniel and Tiffany. Pleasure to have you back once more. We are getting ready for the night's festivities. It's a little dirty. I probably should clean that too, but I really don't care. I also really need to learn to keep glasses in the fridge, but I never do. All right, starting off with 6 again. Good. I like seeing these numbers. This means it's a good night. And I figure it shouldn't be too hard to get people out here because a lot of people don't have to work in the morning because it's a weekend, and I'd probably say 85% of Americans, well, just, you know what, 85% of the human population, everybody has the weekends off. But your weekend also depends on your geographic location. I almost just straight poured this solidly into the cup, but I know we like to get the pour on. Ooh, Jenny worked today. Ouch! So weekend was not acquired by Jenny. I do apologize. That sucks. Welcome back, Cecilia, and welcome back, everybody else. I actually poured that in there so hard it actually got me in the head. Cool. I got alcohol here. Oh, nice. Catch anything? Welcome back. Obstacle, give me just a moment and we will 100% cheers on that one. I will also have another up here as well, so give me just a brief moment to get everything squared away here. I do not currently have my YouTube chat up, so apologies on that one. I'm going to just stick that in there and y'all can deal with it. Bluegill, lots of bluegill. Well, that's at least you caught something. Mother's Day's tomorrow, though. I will be at work tomorrow. Oh my God, there's a guy punching his walls. Over here trying to pour this, everyone's popping up in the basement. I should leave Colin down there for like an hour since he did that to me one day. Stinker.
Go ahead. You have one too.
Oh, Jesus.
Good evening, everyone.
It's Hulu back to you.
Yeah, we went fishing today. Well, Jenny was working. She had to catch up on some paperwork.
Good evening, Jason. Good evening, Molly. And good evening, Jenny.
Hi.
And a happy Mother's Day to both.
Yep. Happy Mother's Day.
To everyone out there.
Thank you.
To all moms and
I already said happy
moms and everything else in between.
I also forgot to wish Rob a happy Mother's Day.
Hey, he just got his mom back, so that's a Mother's Day, right? Saw a lot of turtles, of all things. But somebody did something at this one pond we went to that I never thought I'd see. Goldfish.
They can get pretty big.
These were like running about that big.
You do
It was
realize
like
what a
45 of
koi
them.
actually is, right?
I know what that But the thing
It's
is,
a giant ass goldfish.
that's what goldfish turn into, basically.
Yeah, if you can get them to live that long.
But if you can get them to live that long, yeah. But the thing is, these were, they made it through the winter.
Well,
I
cheers.
don't have anything.
Why does that feel like I was poured more? I don't know.
Someone's got a drink for me because I don't have anything.
You don't even have a Pepsi?
I haven't touched a Pepsi in a while. I've been drinking a lot of tea and Gatorade and stuff. Coffee.
Yeah, I tend to drink. If I can find Tang, I'd be drinking more of that, but
Yeah.
Do they still make Tang?
Yes.
they do.
I wasn't sure about that one.
In all honesty, I don't think we're going to have it for much longer. It's getting harder and harder to find the. I used to get them in the big tins.
I
Yeah.
remember they used to have
the
that
Country
big
Time lemonade.
little walking-looking containers of Tang.
I liked the wonky containers of Tang. Those were always fun to pop open. Wait, what's an invasion?
Thank you, Dano. Yes, I know. I am looking very. Sorry, I'm not used to being this skinny. I'm still getting used to it.
Oh yeah, no, koi are ridiculously hardy fish.
Until it
'Cause
comes
it's not like Japan gets warm during the wintertime. It gets cold
it
over
gets
there.
cold. Oh yeah.
But the thing is, they're not supposed to be in this particular pond. People are just releasing them in there.
Yeah.
They're an invasive species here in Iowa.
Cat or goldfish?
When they're not supposed to be in the part of the ecosystem, no.
They're not.
Yeah, but you would think every other fish would eat them. It wouldn't matter what sizes. I would have figured if you got bass over there, they're going to
Well, the thing is, it depends on when they let them go. What size they were when they let them go. But Ian said he saw 5 of decent, about this size.
Huh.
But we saw 2 painted turtles, one about this big and one a little, like about that big.
They're easy to catch.
I wasn't trying to catch a painted turtle because,
No, I'm talking about the goldfish.
they were not biting. We tried.
Yeah,
red
you use
worm.
a net and you just go out there and you
We
sprinkle
don't
it on
have
the surface.
we don't have a net. We were just fishing with red worms anyway.
God, I really need a shotgun with like automatic rounds to just obliterate that stupid bird. It will not shut up. It's been going for like an hour straight since I started the last live when I mentioned obliterating that stupid thing. Won't shut. It just keeps going.
What does?
Stupid dirt. It's a stupid dirt turtle. Whore pigeon.
Vin Diesel was out and racing today. That's their tortoise.
Oh, I thought he meant like actual Vin Diesel. I was like, he's still doing Fast and Furious movies?
Well, no. Well, here's the thing. He calls him Diesel. I called him started calling him Vin Diesel because I've seen some of those tortoises move. They book it. They're not slow. Especially the big ones.
No, but don't stick them in the water because they go glug, 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 glug.
No, they don't swim well, but they do move on land really freaking fast.
Yeah, it's a land turtle.
So Vin
Not
Diesel.
to be actually mistaken with the turtle.
He's a tortoise. But can you imagine if you put him on a skateboard, how fast he would go?
As fast as his legs can push him.
And that's pretty fast. I've seen painted turtles on little skateboards, and
I was gonna say I've seen like box turtles with like the videos where they put them on like little tiny like Trex deck
Skateboards.
or Tech deck skateboards, and them things are just flying.
They're zooming. They zoom.
Ooh, what's the name of that weird funky turtle? It's like really thin and flat. It almost looks like a frisbee
Sand
and a
turtle.
weird funky shape. But the minute that thing hits water, it's like a torpedo and it's gone.
Sand turtle.
But no, it's going to be a soft shell.
It's a sand turtle, though.
Oh, the dogs go inside when the tortoise is outside.
Oh yeah, tortoises are vicious.
Soft shell turtles, yeah, those things. Can you imagine getting one of those on a skateboard?
I don't know if it would handle it.
The wheel. It's that whole going down the highway doing 64 when my daddy blew a big one and blew me out the door. The wheels couldn't handle it. The motor fell apart. All because the soft shell turtle was on a skateboard and the wheels just it disintegrated.
Yeah, they have those kind of turtles here in Iowa. We also have box turtles and painted turtles as well.
We have turtles down here. I just don't see them very often.
And we also have snapping turtles. I'm not sure if we have alligator snappers, but I'll have to take a look, double check.
Yeah, I've seen turtles here and there. I used to have them down here a lot when I was a kid because of the ditches used to always have water in them. And they would just get out and wander around. The thing is, that bird is pissing me off. Where is it at?
We just have the common snapping turtle.
I'm waiting to hear the thunk of the Sheridan.
Oh, let me correct myself. Southeast Iowa does have the alligator snappers, but they're on the Mississippi side. And I grew up in Southeast Iowa, so. Has you ever caught a soft-shell turtle, Jason?
No.
I've caught them by hand, but I've never caught one on a line or anything.
No, I picked them up from land and tossed them back in the water.
Yeah, because I usually see them when they're on the highway trying to cross the highway.
Okay, finally got it to fly away.
Well, that's good.
It was sitting in a tree. Thought it was on a telephone pole.
You need a motion sensor thing, and when it gets on there, a light flashes and a sound goes.
No, I was waiting for him to start pumping up the Sheridan.
I was about to.
But
Then I would have had to sat out there and try to find a stupid thing.
Now, where is your Sheridan?
Right in between these two bookcases. My Benjamin?
Yeah.
The Benji? The Benji 2-2?
We just call them the Sheridans.
Yeah, because you shared in there, you shared in there.
Oh, you should put Captain Sheridan on there. The
Turtles
sword.
they're not the brightest, they're Dano, but because box turtles are really bad for that.
Yeah, no, turtles really are dumb. Why'd the turtle cross the road? It didn't. Got about halfway there.
Before it became a speed bump.
That's because Luigi and Mario like to throw them instead.
Or is that at King Koopa? Are we going to start doing
No.
jokes?
You are.
He started it. He started it.
He just made a reference. You were about to take us down a rabbit hole.
That's why I asked the question. Make sure you didn't
holes.
know it. Because I don't know all the names of all the different things.
I did like the live action version versus the cartoon ones. But anyways, yeah, turtles really are dumb. Crabs are the worst too in certain regions. They make crab highways that actually go over the highways.
And
Is that crabs or is that actual like lobster?
No, they're like red crabs. They're like good side, like 8-inch crabs.
The ones that walk sideways, or the ones that look, or the ones that are
they get the island that they cross every year for the migration.
They're like the coconut crabs.
No, they're not coconut crabs.
Coconut crabs are the biggest ones, right?
Yeah, those are the ones that actually climb trees
and dig big holes in the ground.
No, these ones are just standard like red crabs, and there's a couple of bridges that they have in this one state or whatever, and it goes up and over the highway, so they stop running over the crabs, and the crabs just migrate up and over this path and then down the other side to hit the water. It's basically a crab bridge.
I don't remember a cow bridge before. But that was a long time ago, and where I lived, there was no real lot of highways. So this is before the area I lived in got developed.
In a lot of states, driving on the highways, I see these weird berms, and they're only on the highway side. And then berm goes up the side of a fence, and then there's nothing on the other end. It like a drop off. And it took me years to figure out what those things are actually for.
What are they for?
Livestock and deer.
Okay.
Deer tend to like to jump fences when they're running or stressed, and then they jump over the fence onto the highway and get hit by cars.
Right.
Those are there every couple of miles. They build them so that the deer, because they'll run along the fence trying to figure out a way to get back over the fence to where they're safe. So they run up these little embankments and then they just jump off. So that's all those are there for. That is for rogue highway livestock to get back to safety.
That's okay.
And
Arizona's the only one I know that has squirrel bridges.
Never heard of that one.
Yep.
You got to be hauling butt to hit a squirrel. Them things are fast.
No, they actually have a squirrel bridge that goes over the highway.
Isn't that a telephone pole? And
Yeah, those are power lines.
Well, yeah, it's similar to a power line, but it's just two poles in the ground with guidelines. Then the cable goes across the highway, and that's all it is.
There's no power to it, right?
No. I said it's two poles in the ground with a cable going across.
I heard about the underpasses in Colorado.
Yeah, that seems dumb in Colorado, especially since Colorado does get a lot of rain and snow. So wouldn't that tunnel be flooded?
It depends where it's at.
Always with wings, but anyways.
And Arizona also has wildlife bridges as well.
Yeah, I think that's what Daniel was talking about.
Yeah, there's some of them along the highway going from Kingman going north to Vegas. You'll see every once in a while you'll just see a bridge going over the highway and no roads, no nothing. That is the
Livestock bridges.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen those going through a few other states before, and I'm like, that's an odd spot for an overpass for bicycles. And then I'm like, wait, there's not a path over there. I'm like, that's for livestock and other
Which
things.
state bought the London Bridge?
No, what town?
No, what place bought the
Arizona?
Kentucky.
Right.
Arizona.
When he says Kentucky, I thought it was Kentucky. Oh,
Arizona.
Arizona? Okay.
Yep, it's in Lake Havasu.
I knew somebody had bought it. I just couldn't remember where in the Southwest.
Yeah, it was a private purchase taken to Lake Havasu to go
Why?
from Havasu to the island because the guy just had money to burn.
Sounds like it.
He bought it real cheap. It was just more expensive to ship it.
And his first thought was to buy a bridge.
Especially the London Bridge.
And it was designed to for a tourist attraction.
Does it work?
Yeah.
Well, then it does its job.
Yeah, an obstacle, I still think that would flood even in the high country because, I mean, you're still going to get a lot of snow up there.
Well, they designed it so it wouldn't pool up.
Yeah, well, they've got stuff designed like that down here, but every time it heavily rains, there's a spot where you can't drive through because there's 4 feet of water. And it has drainage. It's a road that goes under a road and then up, and it probably drops down a good 20 feet. But every time we get heavy rain, all the rainwater goes right into that spot and just sits there. I don't know why. I know it's
a breeding ground for like mosquitoes and such.
Oh no, it's bad when that section floods. That water's there for like a week.
Like I said,
nobody can drive on that road.
A breeding ground for mosquitoes.
Yeah, they don't need much. Mosquitoes really don't need a lot of water.
I bet the birds like it though.
Oh yeah, birds will sit down. Yeah, there'll be hundreds of birds down there taking baths, swimming around in that stuff.
Eating the mosquito larvae and everything else too. Anybody been fishing?
Not recently. I've been busy working.
You're always working. In one form or another.
If I didn't do the gardening, I'd probably be fishing on my days off, like I used to.
How often did you used to fish, Cliff?
Shit, about 2-3 times a week.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I used to just go to the local pond and just sit there like all day on my days off, and I'd go eat lunch, and then I'd just sit at the pond until the sun went down.
Yeah. Ian had bought himself a fish gripper today.
The mechanical one or like a glove?
It's a mechanical one. He has a thing. He loves the fish, but he doesn't like touching fish. They take the hooks out.
Yeah, I've
So
got no
that's-
problem sticking my finger in a fish's mouth. Unless it's a pike, I'm not sticking my finger in a damn
Oh
mouth.
no, pike, walleye, or anything like that with teeth, I won't touch them like that.
Yeah.
No. But this one had it. It's the mechanical gripper. You pull the thing back,
Yeah, I know how those work.
and it's got a pretty good grip on it. I tested it on my finger. It's got a really good grip on it, and he actually used it. I actually used it once to get the hook out that's of a fish that swallowed the hook. As soon as I put it in its mouth, the hook popped out, and he put the fish in the water.
Yeah, those things were designed off of pickle grabbers.
Well, he actually said he caught about 12 to 15 fish.
Yeah, I just use forceps.
Well, I've got forceps, but I just didn't want to dig them out. I got really tired really quickly, though.
Ooh.
I wasn't able to stand as much as I would want because it was between the heat and me. There's no place for me to sit where I was at. I got so freaking tired.
Yeah, Daniel, I think I know which bridge you're talking about. That bridge, it looks like it goes to nowhere. Because it's like one of them stupid steep bridges, like 45-degree bridge, or like 45% grade on that bridge, and then it looks like it's going into the sky.
Dano, what kind of fish are you going for?
Let's see, Grand Lake, probably, God, I think that's trout and bluegill and
Not gar.
harpy or crappie. Crappie.
No.
Walleye?
Grayling.
Grayling? I've heard of grayling. I've never caught any.
Yeah, it should be up there. It's trout.
I found out something
this time
really
of
cool
year.
about veterans today, though, when I was getting Ian's fishing license for him. His was $22. To me, to buy a fishing license for a year, combo license, guess how much it's going to cost me?
$47.
There's a 7 in it.
$67.
Try like 17. Not 7.
On the nose. $7 for a veteran's fishing license. Combo fishing.
Walleye.
Hunting fishing
rainbows,
license.
so trout, rainbows, and browns. Okay, that's what's up there.
Yeah, it used to be about 100 something. Now it's 7. I like that idea.
How you gonna how far out are them lake trout? I know they like deep water, but I mean, if you got a good open bail reel, you can cast out that far.
No,
I've never really caught. I mean, the biggest trout I caught was like this big, but that was down in Arkansas, and that was the only time I've ever caught anything that big trout wise. The other ones are all been like brook trout, about that big.
See, I've always caught trout on the lakes up by shore in the morning and the evening when the bugs are touching
The thickest.
Yeah, when the bugs are touching the water, yeah.
Well, about now is where I'd love to be up there in Yellow River because that's when the mayflies are coming down, and they just go nuts over the mayflies.
Yup. That's why a lot of fishermen wake up at like 4 in the morning because they're like, "Oh, they're gonna go fishing." What are you gonna go fishing for at 4 in the morning? Trout, because they're gonna be snapping at the top of the water.
Yep.
You just throw top water out there, or you run out there with a fly, and yeah, you can get like freaking back to back.
You could limit out in probably about 20 minutes.
Really, $7 for hunting and fishing for most of the states this year. That's crazy.
Yeah.
For veterans, it is anyway.
See, now that's the one thing I like about the state of Arizona. When you buy your license, it's good for 365 days. It doesn't matter what day of year you buy it. That's what it should be in every state.
I don't know mine is that way.
We have that same policy down here. Your license expires the same day you bought it.
Yeah.
Well, a year later. Not literally. It's not like you're paying, $43 for a license, and then that same day your license is like, oh no, you just paid $43 for a 1-year license that just expired today.
It'd be nice if Texas did that because ours is September 1st to October 31st. Excuse me, September 1st to August 31st.
But we got to get the ones that go.
So that's still almost a year, though.
It's still a year, but
where it's not too far from
if you're visiting,
not to
or anything like that, and you buy your fishing license in say June when you first move here,
yeah,
manageable.
You got to pay the full price for that whole month.
Yeah, and you're only going to get like 3 months.
And such.
Yeah, it's just like
so. We have to weigh the pros and cons of each and pick out the best one.
Yeah, that makes sense. Trout do like the trout do not like chasing things. Bass, on the other hand, if it moves, they try to eat it. They don't care.
Yeah, we had one guy that caught a bass about that big or so.
Daniel saying Texas
Oh
is
yeah,
trying to fix.
they're trying to. That's what a lot of people have been asking.
Oh man, the only thing I wish is what they did. I have to wait till I'm 65 to get the lifetime hunting fishing license.
You've only got what, like 5 more years?
7. No, 8. Sorry, 8.
It shouldn't be that hard to get some new tires. Yeah, I was going to ask, Obstacle, how often does your sister use her cabin out there?
Are you going to ask to go?
Yes, I am. I'm going to be like, dude, we're going to set up a weekend. We can go out there and go fishing for like a week. Screw that shit.
Do some recording while you're out there, too.
More people I know with cabins up in Denver, the faster my ass is going to Denver. Because I like the Denver wilderness. Like, the mountain ranges out there are nice.
I've been through there. I mean, I didn't, but I was in there during the wintertime. I never got a chance to experience them the right way.
Oh, no, dude, I love the Denver mountains in the wintertime.
I was going through the interstate through downtown, down through Denver, trying to get home, and it was freaking cold. That's all I can tell you. But I made it through, and that's all that matters.
I've gone the amount of times I've gone camping. That's why I like camping in the snow, because it doesn't bother me. I used to do it all the time in Denver, like all the time.
Really?
Oh yeah, dude. I do. I used to wake up. My tent used to look like this on top of me because all the sides would collapse in on the way to the snow.
Oh wow. What kind of sleeping system were you using?
0-degree sleeping bag, a blanket, ground sheet, tarp, and my tent.
No additional heaters or anything?
No, we didn't do a lot of that luxury crud nowadays. You went out there, you camped like a man. If you froze to death, that was your own fault for not taking enough stuff.
Well, I want to get a proper one with a stove, just because I want to be at least partially warm.
Gotcha, there are obstacles, so that's basically your all-around use, and they just shut the water off so doesn't freeze. So I'm assuming, since it's May now, you'd be turning on. Yeah, that makes sense. Turning on the water now.
Does it have a wood stove, or is it just all gas and electric?
Don't know. You have to obstacle.
That's what I'm asking.
Oh, there you go. Free in some states.
Well, they just lowered it to 7 is all they did. They didn't get it free. If I would have been, it depends on what level of disability I have. I have not been completed through that system yet, so I can't tell you what
because he has to pay $7 for fishing license. I still have to pay like 40 something for the whole year. You sucker.
Hey, I went through a lot of time and pain and suffering for that freaking deal. So you suck it on that one.
Propane and electric.
Okay.
Tied into the grid or solar? That's what I'd like to know.
That'd be a good question too. I didn't even think to ask that one.
Because that's one place I would really like to buy some, like a good 5 or 10 acres up in the mountain range in Denver.
We'd never see you again.
You probably wouldn't.
Someone would probably find you about 30 years down the road. You'd have a beard down to your belly and.
No, I just do it.
Oh, it's on the grid?
On the grid and internet? Okay. Oh, it's got internet, then got good signal, so you can do lives from out there. As long as you got a good Wi-Fi router.
Live from out there if he goes. I'd watch it.
Not that I'm just randomly inviting myself to everybody else's properties and be like, oh, hey, look, he's got a cabin. I'm going.
He's been your buddy for years, so don't even think about it. You'd probably try to. He would probably ask you eventually.
I keep telling Obstacle. I know where he's at. It's probably from where I'm driving down here. I can get up there in about 7 hours.
You just got to haul your water in, though, Obstacle.
Yeah, you just bring your own.
That's what I meant. Haul your own water in. That's what I
Yeah.
just said. Only thing I would worry, does it have like an outhouse or anything available if it's the water shut down or whatever?
Yeah, I just shit on. You just pee on a tree.
I don't
If
know
you've
how
got to
the
make if
the
you've got to
sep-
make chocolate brownies, then you just poop on a bush.
well, I was just wondering what the septic system's like. If you could still use it, whether it's if you bring your own water or not.
You don't use septic out there because that shit freezes solid.
Well, during the rest of the year, what do they use?
Usually like a portable pot, like a portable toilet.
No, he just says he just flushes it with water.
It's a check hole.
Oh, your new place is 100% off the grid. That's freaking cool, Daniel.
You ought to know about having no power. I'd like to have at least some power.
Are you going to be? Is that going to be just straight up solar, Daniel, or is that going to have like maybe a wind turbine possibly? Because I always thought a good combo system would be best, because that way, you're not relying solely on one system. If the weather's bad, there's no sun, it means not much power. But the wind's going to blow one way or the other.
I do wind down here, but the only problem is with wind is it's sporadic and you never know when it's going to be windy.
Yeah, but the thing is, at least if you have a combo between the two, you'd have a backup.
Well, we've got the solar. The only problem is we don't have solar storage.
Oh, I thought you did.
No, I've told you before, we're on grid. We're part of the grid. So basically our power bill every month is like zero. Or sorry, our electric bill. I think majority of months, I think we pay less than $15 in electric.
Wow. I heard nowadays they're trying to charge people to use it like that. Do that.
They actually charge you more to be fully disconnected from the grid with an actual shut off than anything else. It would have cost us another like 10 or 15 grand to get a full switch shut off from main power to substantial, like just solar. Because what they want is that power generation. Any power that they don't generate,
saves them money.
They're not paying for it. They like to use it. So anybody with a solar panels or that's attached to the grid, they basically use your free energy to power everything else. And the only thing they do is they give you a solar credit, like an energy credit. So during the summer, like the peak summer, like June, July, our bill is like zero. We don't pay shit because we generate so much solar on the just generate so much electricity.
Now, I was wondering if your dad would ever set up a system just in case the grid goes down.
We could, but the problem is finding a spot to store that amount of batteries.
Your dad,
the amount of batteries you need for that storage is anywhere between $10,000 to $20,000 worth of batteries.
Well, you and your dad are smart. I'm sure you guys could figure it out.
Batteries are expensive, Colin, especially the
I know how much batteries are.
Batteries.
Like the EcoFlow.
Not those kind of batteries.
Those are like $4,000 per pack.
Yeah.
But how long do they last?
A long time.
Exactly. You make your money back in the long run.
It takes a long while to get your money back on one of those.
No, so have to wait and see.
Yeah, see, I wish ours did that, but I mean, it negates our electric bill roughly, but we're not getting anything back from it. It's not like when we start with more than what we're using, we get a credit, or it's like, oh, hey, the power company sent you a $50 check because you made more electric than you used. I wish.
Oh, ice fishing. I still want to do that. I've got the gear, but I've never done it. My knee kind of restricted me from being able to go do that.
Man. I have so many broken fishing poles, I can just make an ice fishing rod.
No, I've got several. I've got one right up there.
I don't actually own a single ice fishing rod because I don't go ice fishing. I never had a chance to. I owned like a child's fishing rod, but that's still like a 2.5 foot rod or 2 foot rod.
I'm actually surprised no one uses those yo-yo fishing reels. The ones you just hang up and it's like automatic fishing reels. That would work too.
Yes, but in a lot of places, using that is illegal
Not in
unless
Iowa.
it's a survival situation. It's it's because of the laws and some of the criteria they have for fishing. You can't you when it comes to fishing, you have to be actively fishing, not passively fishing, because that's
That's weird.
considered a passive fishing setup. It is it is in a lot of states and cities. It is illegal to use those damn things.
Oh wow, 13 batteries.
Oh, it says 14 bats and will run a welder on. Nice.
That's not bad. That's some good power.
Obstacle. Do you guys have an ice fishing hut, or you just pop off on the lake when it's frozen?
I got a clam. Is what I've got. Clamshell.
Yeah, I've seen some of them ice fishing huts, full insulation, but you're out there, that fishing
Mine's
hut
not that
weighs like
much,
40, 50 pounds.
It is heavy and it just pops up like a tent. You pull it down, it snaps in place.
It's a fishing blind.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
essentially.
You'd need a little space heater, like a little propane space heater to keep it warm. But yeah, that's all you really need once the hole's cut.
Daniel, are you still in? Is the new property still going to be in Arizona, or are you going to be moving to a different state?
I think it's Montana.
Montana, I believe.
Oh god, that's too damn far away. God, that's even worse for Jason because that's it's straight up, but that's straight
I'm
up.
not sure how far
at a
Montana
different
is
state.
from here, but it's a bit of a ways.
I've driven through Montana, flatter than shit. Most spaces, most areas. That's the reason. There's a reason for that. Me and my buddy were driving through there, and we're like, now we understand why it's called the Big Sky State.
Because that's all you see is sky.
You don't see shit. You see like these little tiny 8,000-foot mountain ranges, like here and there when you're driving through, and then everything else is just flat and sky.
Hey, Cliff, how long did it take you to get from your place to Iowa?
14 and a half hours.
For me to get to Montana, the center of Montana, depending on where he has his house, is 1,140 miles, or 17 hours and 21 minutes.
Yeah, it'll probably take me a little longer because I have to go up and over slightly.
I'm going, northwest, and it was like that would take me forever.
Yeah, me and Jason are essentially would be just driving. Yeah, Jason would have to just drive straight north.
Oh, his would be the furthest trip because he's so far down south.
Oh, yeah.
Me, I would have to just go. I would probably just take I-25 all the way up to Wyoming and then just keep going from there. That'd probably take me 2 days to get there. Maybe 3.
Depends on what town he's near. I didn't see which, because Montana's huge.
Yeah, hopefully Molly and I will be traveling a little bit better here in about 3 years.
Oh, you want to get the RV?
We're thinking about getting a pickup and a trailer.
Yeah. Are you going with a what kind of trailer are you thinking?
One of the featherweights.
Sort of like an Airstream type, or what?
Just a regular pull behind travel trailer. One of the
That's what I mean.
featherweights.
An Airstream would be perfect for that.
No, those are too heavy.
No, they're not.
Yeah,
They could be pulled with a bicycle, dude.
Airstream? Oh hell no, they can't.
Those
They
things are
used to be.
No,
No,
Colin, Airstreams are the silver bullets.
Yeah.
they're heavy.
No, they're not.
No, I've been looking at one that's 24 feet long, dual axle, and dry weight is 4,900 pounds.
You can't pull 4,900 pounds on a bicycle. Because the tongue weight on that would flatten your back tire and flip you backwards, and you
Yeah,
have
the
a
tongue weight
concussion.
of the trailer is about 430 pounds.
Yeah, Airstreams are not light. Airstreams are probably, in all honesty,
They're heavy.
if Airstream was made by BMW, that trailer would be 3 times the cost or price of what it's normally listed as.
There used to be a commercial where one of those Airstreams were being pulled by a camper. A bicycle, I mean.
Yeah.
I don't think it was an Airstream. I'm telling you, there's no way. The smallest Airstream is like 12 or 14 feet long. Single axle, and that thing is still like 1,800 pounds.
The 1961 Pacer was pulled by a bicycle.
If it's balanced correctly,
That's why I think that's what their main issue was. The thing is that theirs was all about balance.
and good bearings, but you won't be able to tow it up a hill with a bicycle.
They didn't even show that, but they on the commercial they actually had a bicycle pull one.
Yeah, somebody had them give them a push start.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's also a tandem bicycle.
Was it a tandem?
Yes, it's a tandem bike. 1961 Airstream Pacer towed by bike. But that is they're on a tandem bike. That's two people dragging that thing.
Well, Airstreams can weigh up to like 9,000 to 13,000 pounds, depending on
the newer ones. Yeah.
That was all that video came out came out 16 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, those things are. Yeah, that's the only way you're not gonna do that on a single bicycle. You're gonna be creeping and crawling the entire way. You're basically getting 20 miles in one day if you're lucky before you're completely wiped out.
Yeah. Alfred Launder did it in 1947.
Yeah, that's what it says. Yeah, infamous 1947 photograph of Alfred Latourneau towing an Airstream with his wife, or the bicycle, but yeah, it's him and his wife. 4-minute video, but that Airstream is also like max height looks like at about 8 feet.
Yeah, it's not a big one.
Yeah, no, it's one of the little tiny ones.
No, it's not super tiny or anything. It's just scaled down. I guess.
I would say, Jason, from looking at the video image, that thing's about 10 feet long.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that one.
See, when I'm thinking Airstream, I'm thinking 25 to 30 feet long.
Oh, you want a home?
Yeah.
Which understandable. I mean, but they're still. I think they're balanced better than most. I think.
Yeah, I mean, the prices are good or okay right now. I've seen some like a year older models going for like between 20 and 25,000. And I don't want to pop out. Oh jeez, that's where it's first going to leak.
Oh yeah, I watched a pop out one where they had their couch on their pop out, and also the pop out screws dropped.
Yeah,
you had to
I've seen the rare footages of where the entire slide out just falls right out of the rails, and you're like, how does that even have? Like, that's got stoppers on the inside to keep it from doing that. How does it even fall out? Sometimes faulty equipment.
Yeah, you're probably right, Daniel. That the way the Airstreams are made now are different from what they used to be because someone bought them out.
Oh, they're still made the same way, but the problem is they're still ridiculously expensive.
Oh yeah.
I'm telling you, if Airstream was made by BMW, because look at the price on a BMW camper. Those things are freaking, they start at like $80K for a small one. You can imagine how much an Airstream by BMW, if it was a 14-footer, that would probably start at $120K.
Oh, he's put that invitation out to you, Cliff. The invitation has been sent. You got your invitation.
Dude, I got my invitation like last year, because we talked about that when he found out that I used to live in Denver and I'm down here in New Mexico and it only takes me like 6 hours to get there. Oh yeah, I've told him before. I was like, if I'm ever in Denver, we're gonna meet up. We're gonna go have a beer.
I've seen the pop-up campers. I'm not a big fan of those. I mean, I like them. I grew up with them, but they do mold a lot.
Yeah, Grace, I still wish your friend would have given you the option to buy some of that land before she completely sold it off. That would have been a really nice gesture to be like, hey, would you like to buy 30 or 40 acres of this? Even 30 acres out of the 130, she still would, off the 100 acres, she still would have been able to live comfortably for the next 10 years. And yeah, I do. That one I do remember. I don't watch a lot of Steve Wallace's stuff anymore. He's been having a lot of issues after Crazy Neighbor went and he started a new journey.
When he got his new girlfriend.
No, I'm talking about Crazy Neighbor. When Crazy Neighbor,
Oh, I know about what happened to him.
yeah, when he started his new journey, yeah, Steve kind of didn't do a lot for a while. But yes, Steve did get a new girlfriend, but that was God, like almost last year.
Yep, I remember. I haven't really watched a lot of his stuff since.
I like watching his stuff, but I just haven't. Like I said, I've been trying to get out of doing a lot of the outdoor channels just because I'm more garden oriented right now. I
Right.
just don't have time to go camping, and I don't really have anyone to go camping with.
Now
Which,
you do.
truthfully, is not really an excuse considering a lot of these YouTubers are single guys doing weekend or week-long camping trips.
Well,
Unfortunately, I
hey,
do not have the funds to just do that constantly.
okay. I'm gonna be sitting back and put my feet up because my knees start hurting.
So I was
I
going
was
to fall
still
asleep
being
in about
wide.
10 minutes anyways. So, yeah,
Give me a second.
right on obstacle. Yeah, with, like I said, next time I'm up there, I'll hit you up and we can go hang out and do whatever, grab a beer, grab a burger. I know they've got some decent food places up in Granby and up in Golden. Shit, for that matter. The only thing I haven't done up there is actually taking the damn tour of the brewery. That's the only thing I haven't done up there, is taking the brewery tour.
There's other things you could do up there in Colorado too.
Oh no, in that particular area, in that particular city, they've got that's one of their biggest like touristy things, but like biggest staples for that area, for that city.
What
is
what do
the
they call
brewery.
those kind of beers? It's not like the big name brand ones. The
IPAs.
no IPAs. I don't understand what IPA stands for, but this is where the little people who make their own little brew, homebrew type microbreweries.
Yeah, microbreweries. No, yeah, Denver's got a few of those, but they've got a lot of like IPA breweries.
Yeah, you know what IPA stands for, don't you?
Yeah, Indian Pale Ale.
Most people don't realize that.
Jump out of a plane. Hell no. I'm a 100%. I'm sorry, movie quote time, but there is definitely something wrong with it jumping out of a perfectly good airplane.
Yeah, there's no reason to jump out of a perfectly good aircraft if it's not going down. I'd rather fly the plane than jump out of it.
But hey, you know what? I haven't done that either. I never did that.
Neither have I.
Brewery tour.
Oh, I wouldn't do a brewery tour, but
I would.
I
No,
would.
just to go through that, just to see, like, I more or less know the process of
Jenny
brewing beer,
might.
but at the same time, on a massive scale like that for
I'm not sure if you like beer.
countrywide production.
Oh,
Heck,
Jenny can't because she's allergic to beer.
she's Daniel's like, I'm jumping. Hell no, unless that plane's crashing, I ain't jumping out of that bitch.
I think he's done it before, though.
I mean,
He was a contractor.
I've always wanted to skydive, but I really don't want to be strapped to some other dude skydiving, because in order to skydive solo, you have to have, it's like 500 hours of skydiving time.
Well, okay, if you don't want to be strapped to a dude, get strapped to a girl.
No, it doesn't matter. You still, regardless, if you want to do a solo jump, you have to have something like 500 hours.
Well, I understand that, but if you do not want to get strapped to a dude, get strapped to a girl, then jump.
I don't want to be strapped to a girl either. I just want to jump. If I have to, I just want to jump solo regardless, because I know I'm not going to pass out.
I had a feeling, though, Daniel.
You got safety gear for that.
I had trouble rappelling when I was in the service. I had trouble going backwards down a tall thing. So
Oh, I've got no problems rappelling. That's why I'm single. Camera, why? I'm the one drinking, not you.
Oh, 1,000 hours? Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Oh, is it? Yeah, I was gonna say, what is it?
Like I said, I'd rather fly the plane because I've got some flying experience, but that's it. Let me be the pilot. You guys can jump. I will be fine where I'm at in the cockpit.
Really?
Though I can't do jets. I'm not jet qualified.
Well, I just Googled it, and apparently they have changed this completely.
What
So
is it
you
now?
need a minimum now at this point 6 hours of skydiving time alone to jump out of a plane alone.
That's it?
Yeah. How many hours do you need to skydive alone? Only about 6 hours. These hours account for the ground school portion of the PSP, learning how you safely complete the skydive, from exiting the aircraft to landing your canopy, effectively overcoming any potential emergencies. That
So-
used to be like, you used to have to do like 500 hours of like jump time in
Well, they
order to do that solo.
The training towers now.
But those,
Oh, that's
like, aren't you still technically harnessed to those, or is it just like,
No, you are actually in a vertical tunnel and you're falling through the.
I'm not a fond of
air.
Blackhawks, Daniel. I've hauled patients off Blackhawks. I have ridden in Blackhawks, but I do not like Blackhawks at all.
okay, I got you, Grace. Still would have been nice though to own a little bit of that, section of it, because you can always just, once you own a piece, as long as they got the main road there, because you still have to have access from the main road to the property, so they can't block access from the main road. But whatever section of property you had, you could have just modified the road to make it easier for you.
No, that would you'd have to have an easement, and that sometimes can be
The main access road is the easement.
Oh, they thought it through.
Oh, that you did think about it? Okay. Yeah, I actually found out one of the ladies I work with, she owns, I think it was like 120 acres. Odd number, yeah. I just randomly found out she owns like 120 acres that she bought off of a friend. And I was like, if you ever feel like selling property, let me know. I'll buy some of that. I'm like, I'll buy like 10 to 20 acres. She's like, well, I got to see what the breakdown is for selling it. But yeah, I was like, because she wants to turn it into like kind of farmland, like garden space. So I was like, hey, if you ever do it, let me know. I'll go down there and help you. Like I can help plant trees down there. We can get a garden started and we can start growing down there mad quick. Because I was thinking if I could get 10 acres on that, I know the first thing I'm planting on the first acre. And that's going to be a whole ass acre of saffron.
Oh, I thought it would be the wildwood weed.
Shit, no. I'd make more money down the saffron than weed. Because the minute you plant that, some a-hole's going to come over there and start ripping out all your plants. Once they find out what it is. They don't know what saffron is. They're just going to leave it alone.
Saffron's worth a lot of money.
Oh yeah, an acre of saffron can be anywhere between $70,000 to $100,000.
After harvest.
Yes, after harvest and drying.
Yeah, but what's going to be the overhead for the time?
Well,
And
you're
the
looking at, depending on how you want to start it, you're going to end up having to start small because buying enough bulbs or corms for an entire acre, you're probably going to be around the $500 to $1,000 range. And then once it's in the ground, it is a 5-year investment before you can even touch the corms.
yeah,
And you have to, so basically every 5 years you can dig up the corms, split them, and transplant them again. Now, what it recommends is about every 3 years to either purchase more or use what you have in like dry storage to increase your yield. So it would be a 5-year investment before I could do anything, but I could always buy corms from other places that are already about to split their bulbs anyway. But by the time I make enough money from that, I'm going to be feeding worms anyway. So somebody would have to inherit the property and continue to do the process. Because I would hate to see all of that time invested be obliterated if somebody bought the property and just decided to plow everything. That would suck.
That would.
100% suck. Or the only thing I could do is I would probably be able to be like sell it to a company that would be interested in continue doing that, so they can make the overhead. Because 70 to 100K a year, or just off of during that allotted time, you don't have to work for like 2 years. 3 years if you're used to working on if you're used to living on 30,000, that's a 3.5. That's 3 years you don't have to do shit.
Well, the first year you do the 1 acre, the second year you do the second acre, third year you do the third acre, so you have rotating.
Yeah. But you're looking at 15 years before you can start effectively. It'd be every about 3 to 5 years. So, I mean, yeah, you can do it that way and just keep rotating. So you'd have to have, I would say, a minimum of 6 acres in rotation. Because by the time the 4th or 5th acre is planted, the first acre is already pretty much on its last leg.
Yeah.
Depends on what you're planting, though.
No, saffron. This is just straight solid saffron.
Oh.
You would need a minimum of 6 acres. And yeah, I think I agree, Jason. A 3 acre rotation would be perfect.
Yeah.
Ooh.
What?
That would suck butt. I'm pretty sure that Corvette was totaled.
Oh, I bet too.
Oh, I've seen a few crashes at air shows, and I'm just like, oh, that sucks for them.
I've heard about a couple broken ankles and stuff like that, but nothing like that.
Oh, I was at an air show one time. They had a midair collision.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that. That's where
I'm
broke
just
the
like,
wrist.
well, they were slightly miscoordinated. Yeah, well, the problem with land down here is, again, we were talking about this the other day. People like to buy property, sell the water rights, and then F you over after trying to sell the property. So they'll sell the water rights for a good chunk of money, and then they'll try to sell you the land. So you buy the land thinking, oh, I can buy like 20 acres of land for like 10K. You're like, oh, this is cheap. And then you get the land and find out you have no access to water.
Yep. Oh, that's another 30 grand just for the grant.
Yeah, and they're like, oh, well, you need to buy the property rights for the water again. So here's, an extra 15 to 30,000. What? You mean it didn't come with water?
Well, it had water, but I decided to sell it separately.
Yeah, they sell it out from under you. Big corporations like to do that. They buy useless land and they sell the water rights. And then the thing is, they can move those water rights 250 miles north, south, east, or west. They can move them wherever they want them.
That just sounds wrong.
It's corporate greed is what it is.
Pretty much.
I think I'm gonna have
I'm glad they don't do that here in Iowa, though.
Jason, are you on your second one, or are you still on your first one?
Oh, I only had one so far.
Gotcha. I think I'm actually about to pour me another one, to be honest.
Could somebody have a drink for me, please?
I can have a drink of water for you.
Somebody drink something for me, alcohol-wise. I need a designated drinker.
DD is a designated druggie. Ah!
See, that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, that's one of these things.
Yeah. Something simple, just to get out of the weather, and it's stronger than a tent. Nice and light.
Oh, but see, is that bunk bed and then a queen bed?
There's a queen bed here, then you got your bunk beds over here towards the rear. But I would probably have the bunk beds removed, and I would use that for like other storage.
Well, the bottom bunk should have storage under it anyway.
Yeah.
The top one's not.
Even the bed should have storage.
Yeah.
You do it right.
The queen bed does. Because it's a raised platform. Right? It's about a foot and a half off the ground.
Yeah, but if you look at the weight, that's what I'm more worried about.
Yeah, to 3,000 pounds.
Yeah. But I want to try and get something like this, but I want it in dual axle. Unfortunately, that's a single axle.
Yeah, see, that's that standard it's a camper, but it's a teardrop shaped camper.
Yeah. But I'm looking for something that's got like a dual axle, between 20 and 25 feet long, no pop outs.
Wait, Daniel, you're on your second one. What? I think I missed something.
I think he's talking about beer.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Oh, he was in a shooting competition today, though, Cliff.
Who was he?
Yeah.
Ooh, shit. I'm sorry to hear that there, Dano.
What I missed?
It's on the screen. Gotcha. Thank you there,
Oh,
Daniel.
He tied for first place in long gun and second in pistol.
Ooh, nice.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't have my YouTube up, so it takes a while for the stuff to pop up on StreamYard. Yeah, what's the price on that one? 20,000, 21,000?
yeah. I mean,
20,995.
that was 29 feet long. That's way too long for what
How
I'm.
come 5,000 pounds empty weight?
Yeah. But
Yeah,
yeah,
that's not including your gear once you get it loaded up, too. I mean, that's going to
Oh,
take
yeah, that's all empty weight. You're adding another,
yeah.
what, probably 100 pounds of water once you fill that tank, because that's probably going to be about a 15-gallon water tank.
Deb is a new great grandma.
I don't want the pop outs.
Hey, Deb, how's it going?
Congratulations, Deb.
Woohoo! Congratulations.
Welcome to the world, Malachi.
Also, happy Mother's Day. Well, happy early
Happy
Mother's Day.
great grandmother day.
Yes.
Jason, could you look at a teardrop for Daniel?
No, I think he's looking for. I think Daniel's suggesting looking for a teardrop for what his for Jason's purposes. But the problem is with teardrops is,
They're tiny.
yeah, you need more access because of
Jason's not a
mobility.
small guy.
Yeah.
I've been next to Jason. He's not small. I'm
Yeah.
small compared to Jason.
Yeah. So this is something I'm kind of looking for right now.
That's got a pop out though, doesn't it?
No, they're just showing the awning.
I was gonna say that's the awning or
Yeah.
a porch that they might have had set down for it.
Something easy, something simple. Weights distributed really good here. I don't want a toy hauler.
The toy haulers are built to be sturdier.
And toy haulers are built for people who have like dirt bikes and 18
And
wheels.
they are extremely expensive.
Oh,
Yeah.
And I'm not going to buy a 3500 just to tow it. So, again, tandem
Well,
axle.
Jaycos are really good though.
Yeah, see, I just want the tandem axle. It's redundancy if you have a blowout.
Yeah, your trailer doesn't pull to one side and fishtail you and drag your ass off the highway.
Yeah, especially at 65. Yeah.
But is
Well,
that a
our
single
pop-up has
spare?
done that a few times. We've blown a few tires, but
Does that have a single spare or a double?
That's a tandem axle.
no, but
No,
they
no,
always
no.
come with
I'm talking about the spare.
every trailer for some
Yeah.
stupid reason always comes with one fucking spare tire.
One spare
It
tire.
could come with two. If you have a tandem axle, you should have two.
I have no idea on that one, Deb.
See,
It might be because you're not signed into your YouTube account.
I have no idea.
I like this.
Yeah,
so I
see,
would change
that's
the
not
mat-
bad right there.
I would change the mattress though.
Although personally, I don't like the cabinets on the side because you're gonna roll over and like lean up and smack yourself.
You're gonna
against
whack
one
your head.
corner of that shit.
You're gonna whack your head first thing.
I would take that to where that door handle's at. I would cut it off right there, and that would be the whole cabinet. Then I have no idea on that, Deb. I could not honestly tell you.
I like this too.
That
don't
I
think
like.
Going to the couch though, like
I would probably.
Are those recliners?
well,
No.
it folds out to it. You basically
Folds
get
out to a
two
bed.
beds right there.
This is one big giant bed
Oh wow.
No, it's
that's
two.
like
I think it's two
that's like a
separate ones.
king.
because the table can turn into a bed, the couch can turn into a bed.
Yeah, so you got two extra beds there that you can probably sleep with an additional 4 kids.
Where would your TV be?
It's usually opposite the wall wherever the refrigerator's at.
Well, they usually show a mock-up of one of those,
But that one doesn't look like it's got the TV model built
Oh,
in.
man.
unless it's on the other side near the bedroom.
I would probably get rid of the. I would probably have them replace the couch with cabinetry.
Oh, look who decided to join us tonight. Good evening,
Join us.
Daniel. Welcome, welcome.
Hey, Daniel.
Man, like I can't even see my screen right now. There's like so much stuff going on.
I
Anywho,
like
I'm
your
here.
hat back there, by the way.
What's that?
Your hat up to your left. I saw that. The other side.
Oh, the Bahama hat.
Yep, I kind of like that one.
Yeah, that's a country artist named country rapper named Demon Jones's hat.
Who?
Not anymore. It's your hat because you have it.
Yeah, and Jason, when I was saying like the teardrop, just get that design because it's the most fuel efficient trailer in the country right now.
You got to remember, I got to carry gear too, so that's my whole problem.
Well, no, the teardrop is only the front. It doesn't have to be the rest of it.
Oh yeah, no, this one is a teardrop.
Okay, like there's another thing for them. They call them a split four. Like it's like it almost looks like a tip of a dagger for the front of them. And like this is the only dumb reason why I'm saying this is because my uncle sells trailers, and he only buys like the best for the person that's gonna buy it because they're not gonna be able to afford it when they're not using it. They can afford it when they're using it. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anything with like a straight up and down, you know, fuel efficient. See, everybody can look at something and be like, that could or couldn't be fuel efficient.
Yeah.
And then there's the ones that you look at and they're like, oh, this one may not. And you know, everybody said the Airstream was great. The only thing that Airstream's good at is the fact that the airflow runs around them very good. They're
Yeah,
the most,
basically a round style. It's a cone style or a ball style cone. Bleh. It's a more
yeah.
rounded front end than your standard flat or square
Well,
end.
they were originally designed by someone who used to work for building airplanes. That's the reason why.
Hi,
they did it.
Jason.
yeah, no, they're actually the guy took the design from an old tank round, like an M 419 or something like that. Like, and he's like, oh yeah, it'll streamline really good, but it has to wait.
None. All right,
It has-
guys, I gotta go take care of Raccoon already.
All right.
Okay.
All right,
Night,
Take care,
Jason.
Jason. Night. Night, Molly.
I'll be back. It'll only be a few minutes.
Oh, okay. Oh, shit. I almost poured that way too much.
Hey, like, okay, finally got my screen like half-ass working. Sorry for cussing.
Well,
I'm not as
congratulations on
stringent
your tie
Colin
today,
is.
Daniel.
What's that?
Congratulations on your competition today.
Yeah, that was we have to go to 2800 tomorrow.
Okay, what's the proper? I can't say break a leg. I can't say good luck. I don't want to jinx you. So
Best of
I know
luck.
a few match shooters, but not long shooters.
Yeah, no, I have to go back for the long shot. We're going to 2800 yards. So
May you acquire the tightest of cluster.
That would be a good idea. Yeah.
no, we have at 2800 yards we have a 4-inch circle and we just have to hit it. If he hits it and I hit it, then we go to the next furthest out, whatever they decide to do.
Your eyesight must be a freaking amazing.
No, it's glasses and a scope.
Good spotter then?
Yeah, I was going to say at 2,800 yards, that's a long distance.
Even with
Yeah.
a scope, it's still, you got to have amazing eyesight.
Yeah, no,
I've got these. And I have no choice in the matter.
yeah, no, and I have mine for distance. And we can't use our own spotter. We have to use the same.
Well, having a good spotter doesn't matter who it is. It's just
Mm-hmm.
having a decent spotter.
No, it's windage. My thing is windage, And we got to 25, and they took the flags down.
Oh wow.
Obstacles wants to know what you're shooting at. He's shooting at a sticker, essentially, at
No,
2,800 yards.
we're shooting at a metal plate that's spray painted a certain color, and like each color is a different point, and obviously you want to go to the middle one, and you hit that one, or you're as close to it as possible. I chipped the red, he chipped the red. My round went through, his didn't. I don't know how that's considered a tie, but whatever, it was considered a tie.
You both hit the red. That's probably why.
Yeah. And
like I said, the match shooters I've seen were mostly pistols.
yeah, the pistol stuff, like, I don't understand it. Like you're told to do like certain targets. It doesn't matter in what scenario you shoot them. You just have to shoot them as fast as you can.
Ah, okay. Well, that makes it. Alliteration is always the best key when you want to phrase stuff on here, because sometimes I'm sarcastic AF, and I'll just
Now,
go with whatever.
Have you ever seen the cowboy shoots?
So are you shooting long gun? Are you shooting pistol, rifle?
No, I did both.
Shooter?
I shot long gun, which is long distance, and I shot pistol, which is you have to hit every target as fast as you can.
Well, the cowboy shoots that I've seen where they shoot shotgun, pistol, rifle, and they have it's timed. The fastest within like under a minute.
Yeah,
They just basically switch firearms as they go down.
I was gonna say, with a shotgun, can't you just stand at an angle and just pull the trigger and hit all the targets all at once?
No, like it's every discipline of weapon you have to use. Like it's a course that you go through that, like you walk up to a bench, you have to shoot 5 rounds at this one. You walk up to a different one, you have to shoot like 2 rounds from a shotgun.
And you got to switch shells out too. You go.
Yeah, you have to do all that stuff. It's not like it's like the.
I find it really cool. I mean,
like the pistol portion of everything is a lot more technical than you would think. I'm going to shoot over a mile.
Oh yeah, and the accuracy is amazing.
Yeah, that's not easy to do with a pistol, because those things really don't have that range technically.
No, I'm not shooting a pistol a mile. I'm shooting a pistol like I'm picking it up from my holster, and I get 3 shots, drop a clip. I got 4 shots in that clip. You know what I mean? Like, it's their duration of time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What are you shooting with? He wants to know what you're shooting with.
Oh, my pistol, I use a 9mm. My long gun is a BMG 50. And Colin, you should have seen that when you were overseas.
I have seen them, but not.
Yeah,
I was never an up close and personal kind of guy, because I'm the one to get, I had to deal with some injuries.
People that own a 50 BMG, that's not exactly just your everyday. I'm gonna just walk around with this and just plink rounds.
You'd be surprised how many contractors have their own private ones.
Contractors, yes, but not private citizens. You don't see a ton of private.
No, you can buy them if you got.
I know you can buy them. They're not cheap.
It's $40,000.
I was in an option, or I was in a position one time. I could have picked up a 50 cal BMG for about $1,500.
It's not a real BMG. I can tell you that right for that price. It's not the real thing.
Built from spare parts or something.
Yeah, like for me to take mine home from overseas, it cost me $25,000.
Just break it down and take the firing pin out. Ship the firing pin first, and then do the rest.
Yeah,
it doesn't work that way.
That was Vietnam. You could do that. That
Not
wasn't.
now. You can't do that now.
My adopted brother was a Marine Corps sniper. Same gun. His best gun was a 308.
No. He shoots the BMG over a mile.
The BMG at over a mile
is at short range.
Yep, the 308.
10, 15 yards.
Yeah. My brother's best gun that he loved the best was a 308 Lapua. 10 grand.
My dad, see, what did he shoot? Whatever they shot in 1963.
Would have been cheaper just to buy a new one in the States.
Oh, what firearms did the Marine Corps have in 63? I can't remember.
They had the 223, which was one of the longest rifles to go out, but it had no knockdown. They had the 308. No, hey, hang on, sorry. They had the 300 Win Mag, which was.
I think my dad said he had a Garand that he was.
Oh,
Yeah,
that
that would have been about right.
That's a 308.
Yeah.
It's the same thing as the Lapua. It just it's bolt action instead of semi-automatic.
Well, that's what he said. He was better with that than most people because that's the same style bolt action that he used when he went hunting.
And that's like that was my uncle, that was my father. They all learned bolt action.
A lot of hillbillies and people who come from low income families learn to shoot in a bolt action rifle.
And there's nothing wrong with a bolt action 308.
And it works.
No.
It took down game, that's for sure.
But there's there's a difference between a 308 and a 308 Lapua.
Oh no, I know that, but
yeah, no, what like it's a 308 round. It's a 40 millimeter casing sitting behind the 308, which makes the Lapua.
Jesus.
I don't think my dad shot one of those.
No, that's what he would have shot back then. It was just bolt action.
I'd have to ask.
That's like like an M60 with a 40 mil round on the
dad
inside.
was a little different because he was motor pool. He actually drove for a general. He carried a pistol.
Oh yeah, no. So he was probably running
45? No, it would have been.
No, he could have had a Port 45, but he didn't.
No, he had every military person back then had a 1911 on as their sidearm.
My dad was the chauffeur for a general when he's stationed over in Okinawa.
Yeah, so
and
in Okinawa, he would have had. There could have been choices. He could have had the M16. He could have the MK10, which is the United States version.
He didn't say anything about that one.
Of the AK-47, or he could have had an AK-47.
No, he didn't mention that one. But he didn't talk about his firearms much. But I got a lot of his stories, though.
Like
no, hillbillies can shoot around any tree. Just to let you know.
Oh no, we can bend the tree to let the bullet go through.
You spare the tree to move it. To move.
No, hillbilly's so drunk that they shoot straight, but that somehow that bullet goes.
Deb's name changed.
Well, she's on her actual laptop instead of her phone.
I know, but it's weird. But it's
and
cool.
What's weird today? My second shot, like you can see it leave. It's like 100 feet out, and it was like pitching towards the sky, and I was like, "That's a miss." Like I straight said it, and it clinked the corner, and I was like, "Yep." I don't know how that worked out, but I saw it. It was going to the moon.
Wind probably got it.
Yeah, well, they took all the flags down, and they're like, "Oh, you want to do your next shot now?" And I was like, "No, I want to wait. Okay, I have that right?" And they're like, "Yeah, you have 5 minutes." And I'm like, "Okay."
Hey, hit's a hit. Doesn't matter.
And the next one, I was like, and it went through. Like I saw it go through, and I was like, "Yep, that's a win." Like
how thick is this? Because you said you're shooting steel targets, right, with a sticker on them, basically.
Yeah, it's a half-inch
range. Are you shooting the BMG or the handgun?
No, the BMG.
Okay,
that'll go through a half.
Yeah, that's a full yard.
They went through half-inch at 2,600 yards with no problem.
Oh yeah, that's gonna punch through that like a freaking hot knife through butter.
So in other words, if I slung one of those by you, like velocity wise, it'll rip your arm off.
Oh, the
It'd rip your head
shocking
off.
will hurt.
Yeah.
Just don't do that, please, Daniel.
No, I know. Like I'm done with all that, Colin. Like
I understand that, but I'm just saying.
yeah, no.
Yeah, because I know
Genetic
full well,
diseases, don't do that. I don't want to have to clean it up.
based on physics, the whole BS about the getting like having the BMG round come near you, like mid waist, it'll split you in half. I know that is a load of BS.
Rip you in half? No. Rip one of you in, like a side of you in half?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it might pull if it's like, that close to you. It might pull off, a little bit of like inch of surface skin, but I don't think it's going to just like rip a big old hole in you.
It'll rip a chunk out of you. It's just silly.
It's going to suck.
I will tell you this from
You could bleed to death from that.
I'll tell you this from being over there. I hit you in the middle of your neck. Your torso is laying on the ground, and the rest of your body's flipping.
Oh yeah, no, I understand that the impact of the round to actual physical physical objects
Concussion.
will just obliterate you.
Yeah, the concussion alone would kill you.
Yeah, that's why wearing bulletproof vest that's some BS.
That just slows the round down to cause more damage.
No, like bulletproof vests and like plate more, like whatever you want to call it. I've been shot with an AK 15 feet away, and they work.
Yeah,
like,
but
they
not when
do
you're
their job.
Not when you're being targeted.
Not a victim of it. Even a 308 will go through your vest.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's all close range shit. That's all it's worth. Like I'm not trying to like talk it up or down. Like I got put in situations where military companies weren't allowed to go. Colin, would you call us people spooks the other day?
I've known a few.
Yeah.
Look, Dan finally showed up.
Hey, Dan.
Hey, Dan, you still camping?
I can't tell you, their real names because they never gave me their real names.
Yeah, and
that's all I can tell you.
I can't talk about what I did, but I can talk about my real name.
He can't talk about what he did, but he can talk about what he didn't.
No, like
Here's the thing: the ones that I met,
Dan,
they remember where they went. There's no record that they were even there. You could have talked to them for 5 hours straight, and there's no record that person you ever talked to that person.
Oh yeah.
Do you ever, Colin? This is probably more your time. You remember any conversation about the biggest gold house in Afghanistan?
That was a little bit prior, after mine. I was there prior to that.
But you remember it, right?
Oh, I remember people mentioning it, but that was not until years after I got out.
I protected that for 2 years.
Okay, that was way before. I was gone way before that.
Yeah, but that was my job. So that what we just talked about is a true scenario where no one's supposed to know anything, yet I mentioned it, you know it, and I protected it.
Well, the spooks I knew were in Germany.
Yeah,
they were getting ready to go over because of the Gulf War was was kicking off.
Yeah.
Wait, Gulf War and Germany in the same sentence? Bro, those aren't even anywhere near close to each other.
Oh no!
It happened.
This is where they got shipped out of, Cliff. A lot of places got shipped out of Germany.
Yeah.
You didn't know that?
That's what's funny. Is like
Texas.
When I was stationed in Germany, right before I got sent over to the Presidio in the Air Force, we sent so many people over to the Gulf from Germany. It was ridiculous. They were shipped through Germany.
What was it called? Golakin or Golakin? I don't remember.
I don't know. I mean, they changed the code names so regularly.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I watched so many planes go through where I was stationed at, and they went straight that way. But this is right before it kicked off big time. It didn't really kick off until after I went to California, and then it went.
Listen,
Yeah, exactly, Grace. It was out of Ramstein.
Yeah,
well,
I actually,
But the thing is, I wasn't too far from Ramstein. I was stationed over in Spangdahlem.
Ramstein for us was medical station.
I was Spangdahlem, which is a smaller post. I'm not sure if you know about Spangdahlem,
I didn't go there.
but that's where I was at.
Yeah, like my
They sent a
biggest
lot of
thing.
Harriers through there.
My biggest thing was like Kandahar, uh, Fallujah. Like we didn't get sent
We got a lot
anywhere.
of Australians through there, which is really freaky.
You know, those dudes don't play.
Australians do not play, no.
No,
But I did see them do something really weird once. They switched uniforms with some of our guys on the flight line.
like
They stripped down naked and swapped uniforms.
in my mind, like yeah, I don't understand why, but at the same sense, I say why is because they like ran to like fight.
Yeah, they had fun.
Yeah.
That's what one of them called it. Fun.
Well, yeah, it's not fun. Like,
They called it fun.
Ooh.
Well, I mean,
me and my guys had a weekend off, and we went to
I've never been down to Australia, so I can't really tell you much more than that.
no, like
That's the only time I've ever met them in person.
we're outside Kandahar, and like my guys, we have a night off, and we're all together. We go to a pub, and we're having a great time. All of a sudden, there's a small, unit of like looking at houses. So like 15, 20 military people.
Quick question, Daniel.
Mm-hmm.
What year were you near there? Or just give me a ballpark. You don't have to give me the exact year.
Early 90s to
Okay.
late 90s.
Okay. So that means the linguists that I sent the paperwork for were probably the ones you were talking to. My linguist from my where I was stationed at.
Yeah,
So I was sending linguists over to you.
you're probably right. Like, and that's the whole thing with like me and like my guys. Like we're
I was
all
doing the orders. I was doing all their orders.
yeah.
So
So
that's the area I was covering.
yeah, we're on our like it's not liberty. Like we finally get a weekend that we can go drink and have fun. We're with the locals. We hear small arms fire, and we hear like on the radio. It's
I heard
okay.
I heard rumors. I didn't get to actually hear firsthand knowledge from that.
You know what I mean? And like, and
Bad.
there's like a group of military guys, like a unit of guys, and they're all pinned down. And me and my guys look around, we're like, we finish our beers, we tell the people, we'll be right back. We're in flip flop
Yep,
shorts,
I
and
heard
t
about that
shirts,
one.
and we run straight through all the people they're shooting at. And we go back to the bar and have our own, our night. And we're like, we get back to base. Yep, you're confined. You're confined. You're confined. Well, there's one fucking problem about that whole you're confining me thing. Is I don't work for your government. I work for my own people.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that shit, like happened. And I'm sorry for cussing. Like I know some.
I'm not monetized, and I'm not as strict as he is.
No,
Yeah, I have
and
to
I
be
get
careful.
it. I just try not to do it, but like that's what we did. Like that was our job.
Oh yeah, I get it. Don't get me wrong. I just remember how many Arabic students and the other ones and the ones who speak Farsi and all that stuff that went through where I signed out. Yeah, their paperwork, fill out their paperwork.
Yeah, but like in
And that's only 1/4 of all the students because
yeah,
we
and
still
how
have the
many?
Navy,
And
the
this
Army,
is
and
like
the Marine Corps.
what you're talking about. How many of those didn't get the protection that they deserved?
I don't know because I know they were supposed to be highly protected, but that's me. Once they left my area,
Mm-hmm.
AOR. I have no idea what happened
They
because
they
that's when they went off my
Your grid, your radar, and this is a conversation that you and I need to have together, not on here.
I apologize if I brought it up, but the thing is,
No. Like you're not gonna like what's gonna be said.
oh, I heard rumors, but that's about it.
Yeah. Well.
And a lot of them were really good friends of mine from actually all services, not just Air Force, but I hung out with Marines, Army, Navy,
Whoa! What
all
the
that.
fuck happened there?
Yeah. I can't even say 8% made it.
I can't. Like I said, I wasn't allowed to know that.
Yeah, and like
because they I must have been like a psychological thing about me filling out the paperwork for people to go come back, and that I can understand that now.
Yeah, but like,
I mean, I was literally about 23, 24 when I was sending people over. So
yeah, but no, like to me and like the guys in my unit, I just had what 3 months ago. We had dude freaking out.
No, 6 months ago.
Like 6 months ago, a guy I tried to kick out of my unit, and
I'm gonna say hi to Tiffany real quick.
Hi, Tiffany.
Hi.
He's over
here.
here.
Say hi to you very much. So hi.
Hello.
He went.
Hey, Jason, welcome back.
He went. He didn't come home right, and he didn't.
People like that, yeah.
And he didn't come home and ask for help. He shunned all of us. Like, you know,
he became an introvert, and that's not the best way to go.
Yeah, and
sometimes you got to be forced up on you.
Yeah, and then he finally gets a hold of me, and it's his, you know, his wife's making him do it, and he's okay, and yada yada. And then all of a sudden, we all think he's on the right trail, and he does.
He does the send off. Okay.
Yeah,
I get it.
And
I know.
I'm like, yep. I don't feel good about anything I did. I don't think.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how well you can help them out. There's sometimes it just gets in their head, and they're getting you.
But the only thing that's stuck in my head is like I tried to send him home.
I get it.
You know what I mean? And like,
by the way, Grace is veteran too, and she was a lot better, higher rank than me, and she's smarter than I am, and so she understands all this too. So, so just
I didn't have her rank.
But she's like,
you know what I mean? Like it just, yeah. And as ranks go, like I think the higher you screwed.
Yeah. I was
money wise.
I was E4 for so freaking long. I bounced around a lot, but
I think that every military veteran. Oh, sorry
for taking over your channel, Cliff. I apologize.
Yeah, you're killing me, Colin.
With Biden's BS,
I step back and whatever you want to talk about. I'm going to say
I will too, because like what I'm going to say is like,
yeah, cast grow plants. I like it. It's a good spell.
Well, I am rank 35 gardener, so.
I guess I'm a level 1. I'm a level 1. But I'm a 57-year-old archer, so level archer.
Cool, Deb.
Hey, Colin, this is the thing I wanted to ask you the other day. How do your contests, like your bow contests, go? Are they kind of the same way as a shooting contest?
Pretty much.
You step back so many yards or whatever.
We'll discuss it on my channel on Tuesday.
Okay. No, I'm not. No, I get it.
Or you can ask me on Facebook or whatever. I can tell you all you want later. Not an issue. But I was the 2019 Iowa Games Barebow champion. So for the Master and Senior division.
Well, how do you get senior if you're not 65 and older?
In Iowa, it's an age rank.
It's a joke. It's a joke.
They actually threw a master at me because I was actually in the senior division, but it was weird.
Master
Considering
Senior
back in
Division?
2019, I wasn't a senior yet. But that's a long time ago. We'll talk more about it on Tuesday.
Oh,
I'll talk all about it.
I'm debating whether is it easier to do quail or chickens, because some people say doing chickens suck.
Some people say duck, actually.
Oh,
But
that
the
was
whole thing about
like,
chicken is you can use their poop to help your garden.
yeah. I mean, with chicken
manure
No,
is
manure,
try
you
to
can
pretty
do
good.
it instantly.
for equipment.
Now, what kind of chickens were you thinking, Cliff, when you do decide to go with your
I
chicken?
don't, whatever the hell freaking Tractor Supply sells. I don't know what the
So
hell
you're
they sell.
you're not going to actually do your research and find out the best one for your region, all that stuff.
But quail
If they're
don't give
selling them
you
over here,
eggs.
they're good for my region. If they didn't sell them over here, they wouldn't be good for the
They're
region.
just small.
Quail doesn't give you the bigger eggs.
No, well, I also don't want a crap ton of quail either, because I'd have to have like 100 of them damn things to make it actually useful.
But those
Like
we've had quail.
you can
Deb is
have 6 chickens and have a lifetime of eggs. Like,
Well, for about 3 to 5
and-
years, but I have to switch and rotate chickens.
yeah, but like you can also move your chicken coop and it soils your ground. Like it helps your
Yeah.
ground.
Yeah, Grace agrees with you, Cliff, about having more. You needing more quail
Yeah,
in order to
you're
equal
going
out
to need for,
pound for pound.
like Jason said, well, Jason also said it too. I mean, for, 6 to 10 chickens, you're going to need like 30 to 40 quail to make it worthwhile.
Well, we're hoping when we move, we
You can
will
also get meat rabbits.
Jenny used to raise.
I don't want rabbits down here.
Jenny's family raised rabbits for food when she was younger. She would cook them, but she would feed them, but she would never be able to dispatch them. I have no issues with that.
And that's understandable.
So I've been a hunter all since I was really young, and hunting rabbits was the first thing I ever got was a rabbit, which was really totally awesome. But
all 3 animals we're talking about helps the garden.
Yep. No, I heard that rabbit poop works really freaking well.
Well, with rabbit manure, you got to let it sit. I think it's like 3 months before you can use it. Where the chicken, you can use it almost like.
Chickens is 3 months. Rabbits,
Put it in there immediately.
you can put it in there immediately. It's not hot.
Oh, so I had it backwards. It's the other way around.
Yeah, like chickens, you have to leave it. You move your chicken coop. You let it poop on a different area, and then you just keep rotating it and like adding their stuff.
Yep, it says it can be used immediately after it's collected.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, with the setup of the property that I'm currently on, or that I'm sharing with, I don't have the option of just getting a chicken tractor and just moving it around the property. When I get rid of a vehicle, my chicken coop is going there, and it's going to be stuck there.
Yeah, but all you do is you put a screen below them, so when they poop and everything, it hits the ground, and you shovel it out from underneath it.
Well, no, I have a little chicken coop that's designed. That's it's one of those Tractor Supply chicken coops. So it's good for 6 chickens. It's a fairly small coop, but once I get that set, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it, because it's not just going to be the like 6 by 3 foot square that chicken coop takes up. I'm going to do like what a lot of people do is that's just basically going to be their safety home, and then I'm going to chicken wire square or rectangle around them so they have a little bit more space to roam around. But when I'm here during my days off or whatnot, I can have them roaming around the property and doing whatever they want to do. I just got to make sure they stay
hurry
out
back
of
there, Dano.
planters.
Dano's going to go secure his truck.
No, like my thing is like let them walk on a mesh, poop on the ground, move them. You dig that up and put it on your compost pile. Like keep them like 6 inches above the ground when they're in their cage, their coop, whatever.
Yeah, they're like a foot off the ground, because it's an enclosed like nesting box / roosting spot, but it has a slide out tray for while they're roosting up there. They can poop on whatever that is. It's like 2-foot by 3-foot tray that just slides out.
Yeah, you got to put some kind of like not exactly sawdust, but something similar to they can poop into.
Bedding.
You like bedding. You
Sawdust.
Yeah,
draw
bedding.
off for the eggs, but the thing is let the poop hit the ground.
Okay. Now, have you ever raised rabbits there, Daniel?
No, I haven't. Tiffany does.
We raised
Has.
rabbits when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Denny's family raised rabbits, big ones, freaking huge one like that.
Yeah.
What are the Californians?
I'm not sure what hers she raised, but
Californians.
they ate rabbits on the regular at her place. They didn't have chickens; they had rabbits, and they do reproduce quite a bit.
Oh yeah. Like what is it? Every
You can
3
get 300 pounds of meat in rabbits in a year, with
Yep.
just like 4 to 6 does and 1 buck.
Yep.
Yeah, because the
that's what
rabbit gestation period on
You
those
know what I
are
mean? Like your
16
land can
days.
feed you.
and they could also clothe you with the fur.
You get enough of them, yeah.
4 to 6.
No, you need 4 to 6 does and 1 buck rabbit.
Yeah, but think of when you harvest the rabbits, you can harvest the fur as well as the meat.
Yep.
Yeah, and
And
you
they're
can.
easy to maintain. They're resistant to diseases
And they get heavy. If you do it right, they do.
Well, yeah, those are the meat rabbits, though. But your breeder rabbits are usually going to be on the slimmer side, but you got to keep them maintained.
Right.
Yeah, but like
you can give them garden scraps. You can give them hay. You can give them grass clippings. They're easy. If you got a garden, they're very easy to keep.
Well, isn't that essentially the same way with chickens? Because you just like chickens, basically, you just feed them garden scraps, carrot tops,
Yeah, but
aside from-
chickens need protein as well
And calcium.
and calcium.
and calcium.
You know,
And-
I've got tons of that because I work in a pizza restaurant, which is weird that I have calcium, but we go through a lot of eggs because we put eggs on our salads. Yes, we sell salads at a pizza restaurant, which is weird, but a lot of the times I keep when we shell the eggs, I keep the shells. I bring them home, dry them out in my greenhouse, and then I grind them up into calcium powder.
Can you? Okay, Grace has a good question. Sorry, folks. Can you make things with chicken feathers like pillows?
Yes, it's not going to be as soft as like a goose
goose
down,
down,
but you
yeah.
can essentially do that. I
I've
would
seen-
assume you're going to want to do that with the more older chickens, the ones that you're basically going to be after like 3 to 5 years. You're going to put them to freezer camp.
What are those things called?
Because that's how a lot of feather pillows or feather blankets or even down blankets are made. It's the older ducks and geese that they make those out of. It's not the younger ones because the younger ones have stiffer feathers.
No, what was that one thing? They down it's not a down comforter, but it was
And y'all
Feather
think
bed,
like
the old
it's
feather bed
just
is
down
ridiculous.
comforters that's soft. They soak all those feathers to get them soft. It's just the R value of a down or of that down is better than a different bird's feather.
right.
Like this goes all the way back to the Indians. Sorry,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like you can do it. Is it going to be as good as a goose feather? No, but you can still do it, and you can still sell it if you make a sleeping bag out of it.
Yeah. But you're not going to sell that same sleeping bag, say if it was made with chicken feathers, at $200 or $300 versus a standard goose down or duck down, which
Yeah, but
you don't find a lot of duck down.
Well, they could be
But you-
compost apparently, and they could be used into like a feather meal. Which
But
is
you're also still making money. Like if that person just has chickens and they make a chicken down sleeping bag and it's $50. They do all the work, they get the $50, they're still making money. You know,
To an extent, I would say yes on that. If you already have the equipment for processing that, then yeah, even if you're selling that at $50, you're still going to make a decent profit. Now, if you're just starting out and you have to sit there and you got to buy the feathering, the processing materials or the machinery to process all of that, which is a lot of equipment. By the way, I've seen how they make feather pillows and like feather blankets and all that stuff and like down blankets. There is a lot of material in it, and that stuff takes for a decent blanket or material. It's almost a year because you have to let the feathers dry out. They run them through a machine that fluffs them and kind of shreds them.
Yeah,
And then
and I understand, but the person is willing to do it. You know, maybe it's a -5 degree bag. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I've slept with a feather comforter.
Yeah, the fill power on that for a -5 degrees, I think, would be roughly around 700 or 800 fill power for a feather bag.
no, and I understand. I'm just saying, like, like everybody says it, like this can't happen, this can't work, this can't. You know what I mean?
Well, it can be because they had to back in the day. They had no choice.
Like it just happened back then. Now we're not like in our mindsets, we're not allowing ourselves to look at the smaller, like the small business that's trying to make their way to, like, even if they get to midway and they tank out and their business doesn't work, give them a chance. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm getting at. Like, that's my thing is like, yep, it's chicken feathers. It's good for 5 degrees. I'm going to test that. I'm going to test that.
Yeah, you know, if I had, say, for instance, 100,000, 20,000, or even 50,000 chickens, and they were about to go to freezer camp because they're more or less at the extent of their productive value. Yeah, I would harvest all those feathers to see what I can do with them. If I can make, like you said, a down blanket that's good to like -5 or -10 degrees, I would test it out to see if that would be a viable option because that's 50,000. We'll say we'll do a median of 50,000 chickens every couple of years. You process all of that stuff. You get the feathers. You blah 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 blah. Yes, I understand that the chicken feather is not the same size as a goose or a duck feather, so you're going to probably need 2 to 3 times more volume to fill said space. But the process of doing that, yes, if you have the processing equipment to get all that stuff done already, it could be a fairly lucrative side business. Because most of the time, majority of those chicken feathers are going to get destroyed. They're either going to get either composted or burned, or in some cases, they're probably going to get shipped off to a plant to be turned into bone meal or chicken meal, or I mean feather meal. Sorry, which is the same. Which is going to be roughly along the same lines.
It also turned into flies for fishing too, Cliff.
Yeah, or I mean, you can use them for, depending on the size of the chicken. If you want to use them for fletching, whatnot, because this can even go all the way to archery.
I have to look that one up because I mean I don't know if I've heard of chicken.
Well, I mean, there's different kinds of chickens that their feathers may be better for that purpose.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like my whole thing is like we all want to think a negative of something.
Oh, like, I mean, I never thought it was a negative. I just never have thought about it that way because I always
no. Like I'm not saying we all think like we all look at stuff as a negative. Yep, it might take this person a whole lot of work to sell $50 of a sleeping bag. It takes her a year. It takes them a year to sell one sleeping bag for $50.
But it's like any artwork.
Yeah, exactly. It's
you know
there's
what I mean?
always going to be more. You're always going to end up putting more into it at the beginning that you're going to get a return from. So you could spend $100,000, give or take, trying to get a business running.
But
it might take 3 to 5 years to get it going.
Cliff, listen to what I'm saying. I'm not saying.
Bow out, guys. I mean, I'm exhausted.
I'm not.
Sorry, it's almost 10:30 here. My eyes are burning. So,
I'm not saying a business.
So I'm going to say good night to everybody.
All right. Good night,
Daniel. Good night,
Colin. Be well,
Cliff.
be
Good
safe.
night, Jason. Good night, everybody
Good
else in the chat.
Good night, Colin.
And
Night.
also, for all those mothers out there, happy Mother's Day. If I don't see you,
And for those fathers that take care of their kids, happy Mother's Day.
yep. I know. Hey, I know quite a few single fathers, so yeah, there's a lot of them out there too. So
Well, yeah, I mean, obstacle. I understand that between the difference between a
night,
chicken
guys.
feather and a goose feather, but at the same time, there's nothing stopping anybody from making a down pillow or blanket or quilt out of chicken feathers. We just don't normally do that because the standard practice for making that stuff is using
And
old.
most people like you and I will never be able to do any of this.
I'm
You know what
not
I mean? You know
because
what I mean?
I don't have the startup capital to sit there and
Like
process 50,000 pounds of goose feather in a machine because that machine's probably going to cost me $200K just to get it going.
like you go back to the 1830s, everything was done by hand. Why does it like you're instantly wanting machines? You want this? You want like you know what I mean? Like this is where I'm trying to get my point across. Is someone that's dedicated to do something, they're gonna do it their way by themselves, and they're gonna sell something. Yes, if it's $50 and it costs them $100, they're doing that.
For the love of just doing it.
You know what I mean? Like it's not. This isn't a business thing. This is someone saying, "Hey, this sleeping bag does just as good as this. Yes, it takes me this much longer to do it."
Yeah.
You're like, my aunt makes string blankets. I don't even know if you've even heard of it.
A string blanket?
I don't know if there's. Is there anyone around here that's 50 plus?
Well, I'm not 50 plus, but throw me a few bars. I might know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, old textile. How they made paper and blankets and all. That's what my aunt does. It's from the 20s, 1920s.
Yeah, like quilting and stuff?
Yeah, no
Yeah.
machine. Like textile, like how they made paper way back in the day. My aunt grew up doing that, and she still does that. She makes one of those blankets. How much do you think it's worth?
30, 40 bucks, give or take.
30, 40,000.
For one blanket.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
But
like
again, yeah,
a,
if
a
you're doing it all by hand, yeah, that's going to take a long process. So you're looking at what, maybe a week to 2 week turnaround time per blanket?
a month and a half, 2 months per blanket.
Because it's not just one color, it's a design.
Like it's not one color. It's like
Isn't she doing this that American flag?
yeah, we have the American flag. Or she's working on the American flag. She's been working on it for a year and a half.
Jeez.
Like each strand has to land in a certain spot. You know what I mean? Like old style technology, yeah, it takes a long time, but guess what?
It'll last a lifetime.
Now, is she doing that by hand or is she doing it on like one of those looms?
A loom.
No, she does it with a loom, but it's by hand. There's
Yeah.
there's no mechanical in it.
Yeah, no, that I can understand. Yeah, those things take forever to make,
Mm-hmm.
especially
But
depending on the
it'll
size of
last
the loom and size of the blanket you're making.
a lifetime.
Yeah, she's making a queen. Like our blanket is a queen, and she's at least 9 months into it.
Yeah, because
Like,
the standard loom is what, like 4 feet wide, give or take?
A loom? A loom is an inch.
No,
Well, no, like the
Oh,
standard weaving
no, no,
loom,
no.
like
You're
the
talking about
whole
the
machine
machine.
is like
Sorry.
4 feet wide.
Yeah, you're talking the loom, the machine.
probably the
Yeah.
basic one.
Yeah. No, this is a queen is 8, California king is 12. She's working on a queen.
Yeah, so she's basically doing that in sections. That at the end of all of that, she's got to actually manually sew together to make one solid blanket.
Yeah. Like,
So that could be up to what, 9 squares, 12 squares, depending on how big the loom weave itself is. So if you're talking a 4x4, you're still going to need at least
And she's
nine
using
space, 9 squares.
dyed wool.
I, I don't know the measurements, but everything's hand dyed. It's all it's straight wool. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know the measurements, but like it's string by string or strand by strand. Like it's considered textile design.
Yeah, I've got a ton of those around my around the interior of my house. I got those hanging around. But yes, I know exactly what kind of blankets you're talking about.
Yeah.
Hard and shit in here.
Like she just sold. She went to Canada for a festival last month and sold 3 for right around 10 grand a piece.
Jesus.
Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
And it's her passion. It's something she loves to do.
can you hear it, Tiff?
Yeah, I can hear Tiff.
Oh,
Yeah, so it's her passion. She loves to do it. So if you love what you're doing, is it really considered work or a job?
Not
No.
really. To some
So,
extent, yes, but to some extent also no.
but she made these because she was doing it and she happened to sell them for people wanted them and they paid 10 grand for them. But she's not, she'll take like an order and it'll probably be more than 10 grand because it's a specific order.
Yeah.
Like for ours, she's just doing it because she loves to do it and she wants to give us something.
Yeah, but when you get like you said, like when you get an order, you're looking at a specific pattern. They want, a specific color scheme. They want, a design, certain
Yeah, and they
borders,
can want a specific type of wool, or maybe they don't
Yeah.
want wool, or they want some other kind of, I don't know, fabric or whatever.
my hands straight up gonna do it the way they want it, the old school way.
Yeah.
And because she's passionate about it, it's not like you can go to Amazon and buy it, and it'll last for, multiple generations versus something you buy on Amazon that might last you a year.
Oh yeah, because I mean, like you said, again, it's the thickness of the wool, the design of the wool, how much it's actually, incorporated into it. If it's 100% wool, it could be 80-20 blends, wool synthetic. But again, it's also the time and effort it takes to weave all that stuff together, and amongst a
It's
few
a
other
long
things.
time.
And what's really weird about this whole thing, and I don't understand, is my aunt spins her own wool.
So she has her own sheep.
No,
It has a spinning wheel.
she has a spinning wheel. She buys it. She buys wool from Ireland and
Spins it.
spins it, dyes it, does all that shit herself.
Yeah, there's okay, so I'm gonna refer you guys to a channel. I know these guys, this particular couple, they do their own. So they have their own sheep, so they shear their own sheep, and then they actually spin and roll their own wool after they've processed it themselves. They've got a little spool spinner thing that they go through and process and comb all the wool. all their own stuff. And this particular couple, or the wife, actually makes wool mitts, like your standard 2-finger mitts. So you got basically like your oven mitt
Mhm.
style
Ooh,
mitt.
ooh. I like to get my mitts on those.
Actually, there's been a few pairs I've actually considered buying them from them, because one of the pairs, I kid you not, because of the way they patterned it, it looked like a pine cone.
Ooh,
Now, I don't know if they're doing that same blend again, but I really need to get a hold of Chris and Steph to see if I can actually get me a couple of pairs of those, because there's no synthetic in it. It's 100% wool.
And that's all you're getting from my aunt on her blankets. And you know what's weird is I can't afford one of her blankets. You know what I mean? Like it's one. It's like, oh, I want this great rug on the floor of my $1 million house. Oh, it's $100,000. Yeah, nope, I'm not buying it. Like that's just
Right?
how it. That's just how it is. It's like, no, I wouldn't. I wouldn't pay more than $30 for a blanket.
I mean, depending on the quality, I would pay a lot more than that. I mean, again, but that depends on the quality of the blanket and the functionality of the blanket. Now,
I'm not.
I've got blankets personally that, I've paid that amount for, but I've also got blankets that I've not paid that amount for, that I've currently won in giveaways over the years.
I
And
wouldn't.
I've got to buy blankets in that same category, but you're like $60-$70 for a blanket. I'm like, how is that blanket that expensive if it's not designed for like -20?
well, like I
No,
said, the blanket I want, I know is going to be somewhere around about $1,500.
That's an expensive ass blanket. All right, so
Well,
this is
no. Hang on a second. A $1,500 blanket, like no. I can say I want a $1,500 blanket. I want a wool canvas blanket. $1,600 is the cheapest one I found that's completely waterproof, both sides.
all right. So I'm gonna throw in the chat right now is gonna be the link to this channel that I like this couple. I talk to them quite frequently. These are the ladies, and this is the lady and gentleman that do their own sheep stuff. So they've got their own sheep, they shear their own sheep, and then they spin their own stuff and make whatever they need to. That is the channel for them. That is Chris and Stephanie. They are awesome, awesome Canadian gardeners. And I will be right back, folks. I'm going to let these two wankers take over for a second. I got to go see
Oh,
Amanda.
I'm a wanker. How do
Y'all are wankers.
I'm glad. Like I'm a wanker. I don't know what a wanker means.
now see, I want a beaver skin blanket.
No,
Um,
Jason, what you want is you want a what was it? A butt rug blanket.
No, an actual beaver fur blanket.
I just got.
I would do otter, but God Almighty, that shit would be expensive. Be right back, gentlemen.
Imagine how nice warm that would be in the middle of winter time when it's like below 10 degrees and the wind is blowing.
my uncle and the farmer that lives right next to them. They got bison. I have a bison hide.
Oh, those will keep you warm.
Yeah, it's 170 pounds.
Yeah.
No, it's 170 pounds. Like, who wants to carry that thing around? Like this.
That's the tradition.
They make a nice bedding.
No, but who wants to carry that? You know what I mean? Like that's my thing. Yes, no matter where you are at, like you have a tent, you have your sleeping bag, you have everything all in one thing. It just weighs a whole bunch.
Yes, it is, Grace.
I can't see any of the comments.
Oh, well, she's saying the bison hide is the OG weighted blanket.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Oh no, that's what. Sorry, yeah, my other half said the same thing. Like no, like uh, my, my uncle owns land right next to my land in Maine, and a farmer across the street bought bison, and one of them died. And the only thing I said is, I want a bison hide. It's 170 pounds, and it's over $500 to mail it.
For what now? Bighorn?
To mail it.
A bison hide.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's 170 pounds.
Yeah, you're also gotta have a license for that, assuming they actually still allow hunting for bison, because I know they're
No,
pretty
he
much low
raises.
on numbers as it is.
No, it's captive raised.
Ah,
No, no, like the farmer bought them to raise them.
well, yeah, if he's raising them essentially like he would normally beef cattle, then yeah, I can understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that. Oh, it is. It died in the middle of the worst winter of Maine's history.
Yeah,
And
if you're going to use it after it, perishes of natural causes, then yes. Because I think they're 160 days. I think.
Oh no, there's lots of bison now.
No. I'm talking about like the gestation period for bison.
no, there is no gestation in Maine. Like they just got there. One died. They took the meat. They took the hide off it, and the hide's mine. It's a
Oh,
hundred.
shit!
The hide itself is
Same
170 pounds.
How many months?
9 months.
Gestation is breeding.
Yeah, like they didn't get there in a point where they're even going to get to breed. They got there at the beginning of winter, and Maine's winter this year, yeah, cows didn't last, bears didn't last. Okay, love you. Cancel your wedding. Winter, we have one.
Oh Jesus! So yeah, you're looking at 9 months, and then one calf per year. So it's saying while twins are possible, they are extremely rare for a bison to have twins. So that's one calf every month. So yeah, Jason, or sorry, Daniel, I can see where you're coming from if you're doing like for what you want for like harvesting, but at the same time, dying of natural causes, yes, I can understand that one. But if you're buying this stuff for the specific purpose of harvesting for skins, you'd have to have a lot of bison owned personally, and then you're going to be looking at average of 3 to maybe 5 years before you can harvest a full sized skin for specific purposes.
That wasn't even the whole purpose of him buying them. He was buying them to keep them alive.
Yeah, so keep the population going and productive.
Yeah, and I don't know, like a pound of bison meat is $36 to $49 a pound.
Yeah, that stuff is expensive, but I will tell you, bison burgers are
Oh yes.
freaking so damn fantastic.
Yeah, so yeah, he bought bison. He put them in there. One got killed. I got the hide. How much money did he get out of the meat?
Now
That-
that dude probably made like 5 to 10K just off of the meat alone, if not
Yeah.
more.
like,
Pretty.
like, I grew up farming. When I was in New Hampshire, we had 500 head of cattle for milking.
God, and you're looking at what, $500 to $1,000 per head at that? So you're like $50,000,
Uh,
100,000 for that amount of cattle.
uh, Probably throughout the day, 150,000 if we do them twice a day. Like it's that simple. Like you can milk the shit out of them in the morning. If they don't get the temperature in the wintertime, you get half that. So $150,000 a day.
Oh no, I was talking about like for the head of cattle, because what, each cow is roughly anywhere between 1 to 5K per head. But I think that well, that was also a couple, a decade or so ago. I don't know what the price per cattle is now due to the
Well,
due to
no,
the
like
supposed dwindling numbers.
I'm just talking milking.
Teresa, long time no see, sweetheart. How you doing?
You know what I mean? Like milking cattle. Like there was times there was 500 a day. There was
Yeah.
times, you know what I mean? Like my dad, like, oh, I'm just gonna buy more cattle, and we go from 1,000 gallons to 4,000 gallons a day at $26 a gallon. That's a whole lot of money.
Oh yeah, well you've got a lot of processing and all of that in between it. So yeah, the cost of that's going to be it's
No,
similar to like oil. You can pump it out of the ground, but you still have to process a lot of it. So most of the cost is
no, that's not how milking works. You milk them, it goes, and they pay for all that stuff. But I grew up that way. Anyways, that's what I was getting at.
well, no, that's what I said. Obstacle. I've never slept under a bison blanket. I would not
Yeah,
know how it would feel.
either have I. Like, I can drive 25 miles from where I'm at and be at a bison farm, where the farmer across the street from my hunting camp, he bought a whole bunch of them because it's something that's not in Maine, and he's like, "Oh, yeah, I'll buy it and I'll sell the meat and da da da." Yeah, like I'm 30 minutes from it, and it's like for a ribeye, it's $40 for a
Sounds about
single
right.
ribeye. It's crazy, but it's the best ribeye I've ever had in my life.
I can't say that I've had bison ribeye, but I have had, like I said, bison burgers. And Jesus, I don't
Yeah,
think I've
like
ever tasted a more flavorful, juicy burger
yeah,
in my entire life.
it, and you know what I mean? Like the country wants to say that they don't exist. They're not this. Like they, when we, you know, not you and I, not anybody that's listening to this, like killed off the herd. The herd's still there. It's just, yeah, people need to pay attention and put a little bit of money into saving it. We save more whales and fish and
I know
whatever
it's so stupid.
than the bison. You know what I mean? Like the animal that fed the world, sorry, not the world, our country for the longest time, they don't care about.
Right? Yeah, I agree with you on that one. Because I mean that's been what, thousands of years that native people were eating bison, and they were harvesting to them an extent, but they weren't over harvesting like the way we do now. they would
No,
only kill what they needed to survive through like the winter. So it might be 4 bison for a tribe, or 8 or 10 bison per tribe, but that's all they would harvest throughout the entire winter.
until like the colonies and all that shit happened in the military. Oh, well, they live off this. We're gonna fucking kill every bison
Yeah,
that's out there.
we have a habit of over harvesting stuff we don't need, and then we leave like 30% of what we harvest just there.
You say we overkill and harvest. My thing is this country only knows how to do overkill. Period. Like there could be elk in a great place in a certain part of the country. Yep, that part of the country gives everybody an elk hunting license, and guess what? There's no elk left there. Yeah, management sucks.
God, that would suck the day there's no elk. It's like, what do we have left? We have deer and gazelle, yeah, and moose. What are we gonna do next? I don't know. Let's genetically modify a deer.
No, like, and that's the only thing they can do. Like, I have a lease in Maine, and elk's never been in Maine. Elk has never been in Maine. I put up 250 cameras on my lease land, and no one hunts it. And everybody's like, "Well, why? Like, why this? Why that?" And I was like, "That elk's gonna
There to
make
hunt.
babies. That elk's gonna do this. Let it populate." See? And no one understands. They just want to hunt. Like they just want to shoot and kill something. Yeah. You want to shoot and kill something that's never been in this state ever. Good for you. It's not going to happen. Like that's my standings on all that stuff. It's like hunting mountain lions. There's two ways to do it. You can hunt them with dogs, or you pay attention to where they move and how they move, and you hunt them that
Migration
way.
patterns.
Yep, and that's the way you hunt them.
Well, see, the
I
problem
agree,
is that is they're cats.
and
Regardless of how you look at it, it's just a big ass cat.
yep, and I agree with both sides of it. I do, and I'm not complacent against any of that stuff. Like, there's a guy that, uh, like, I own the land in Montana. Yep, my inheritance isn't finished yet. This guy and his dog goes there twice a week to run off mountain lions. I don't understand it. I don't get it. Why can't we kill them? Is my thing.
The numbers on those are already dwindling as it is, so they're
Yep.
technically on the verge of extinction. Despite the fact that I don't know if it's regulated under the DNR or something else, but technically mountain lions are getting to the point where they're getting close to being on the endangered species list, which sounds ridiculously stupid considering it's basically just a giant wild cat. But they're getting to that point because when we encroach on their natural territory, i.e., when we start building houses in the mountains, because we're like, oh, well, I'm going to buy this 20-acre property in the mountains, put my house on there, and then live out there with my kids. When they start becoming a problem for the property, then it's like, well, if it's an issue for your kids, then you can shoot it. But at the same time, really what we're doing is we're screwing over nature by, taking over whatever they normally would have as a hunting ground or living ground. And then all of a sudden it's a problem for them.
No, and I'm 100% on your side of this. Like 100%. And at the same point, if a dog team and a gentleman pushes a dog off or a cat off multiple times and it keeps coming back, is that a nuisance or is that what would that be considered?
See, for the property owner, it would be considered a nuisance. But if you want to go back to natural law, 100% no regulations, natural law, essentially you as a human on that property is considered a pest to the animal that was its original habitat. You encroached on their habitat. So for that particular creature, say a mountain lion, or moose, elk, or whatnot, the thing is with the way laws work is they don't have a right. It's basically just they're considered a nuisance animal, even though you took over their territory.
Right. And my whole thing in Montana, I didn't take it over like this. Like, there's a guy that goes there every week with his dogs and chases off the same mountain lions over and over and over and over again. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to say they don't and they shouldn't exist. Well, if it's the same two over and over and over again, that's more than a pest.
Well, with that in mind, I think basically what he's doing is he's ensuring that his property is not being attacked, because if he has kids on that property,
It's my property.
oh, it's your property that they're chasing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's 500 acres. There's no one there. Like, he got hired to do this, and it's the same two cats over and over again.
Well, here's the thing: do you have any amount of livestock, personal livestock, dogs, cats, chickens, cows, any sort of sheep, rabbits, or anything on that property?
Where they're going at horses and pigs.
Okay, so the pigs would probably be. I mean, it's an unlikely scenario, but a pig would be an easy target for the cats. If they get one or two every couple of weeks to months, I mean personally, I don't see the problem. Now, I understand from the owner respected standpoint, that's going to start costing, because you're looking at what, $300 to $500 per pig, if not more, that you're losing.
Yeah, and it's like these are people that like have lived. Like, there's a bridge from their property to mine, and like, you know what I mean? Like, the guy that's chasing the mountain lions off, like, he just knows, like, oh, I need to go here, and like, he chases them 4 or 5 miles away, and they just keep coming back. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to hunt them. They're doing their own thing. They just need to go somewhere else. Like,
Now, here's the thing: are the pigs and are the pigs and the horses on said property, are they wild or are they domestic?
oh no, they're domestic. They're in pens. Well, the horses are on their own grazing ground. They're not kidding or anything like that. You know what I mean? Like, they're,
So the horses are domestic, but technically free range.
yeah. Well, they run a small pasture.
Okay. So
It's
essentially,
still-
what's going on is the horses are essentially grazing along with the pigs in their, respective pens. But to the cats, that's the cat's hunting territory, because that's, how the mother and father of that cat probably everything is ingrained like with wild animals. They have a specific territory. They're like 34 anywhere between 10 to freaking 100 miles worth of territory that they hunt. That location happens to be part of their territory. The cats aren't doing anything wrong per se, but to the human eye, they're becoming a problem because they're killing livestock. But you have to understand the point that at the same time, that livestock is technically in the cat's living zone. So unless you have a 20-foot high fence around the entire property, there's no physical way to keep the cats doing from what they normally would do naturally in the wild.
I completely understand what you're saying. When mountain lions get chased off by dogs, like treed, like smacked out of that tree, they don't normally come back. And this is over and over and over again with just two cats. I'm not saying all the other cats that have been a problem, they learn their lesson and they move on.
These two particular cats must be extremely stubborn, or they just don't give a crap.
Well, in honest to God, it's not my horses and cattle that's there. Once it's mine, yep, it's a shotgun show. You know what I mean? Like it it's it's these two cats to me. Like I'm going to do it streetwise. Sorry, I'm sneezing. There's a drug dealer on the corner, and they're like, whatever happens around them, they don't care. So they're too domesticized or domestic. They're so used to domestic routines, they don't think anything's going to happen. They've been ran off by dogs. They've been ran off by this. And they keep coming back. Yeah, well, sorry. Someone keeps coming after my meal every day, day in and day out. Well, I'm going to shoot it and kill it. It's not that I don't care about it's a mountain lion. It should have just learned its lesson and went away.
I say that's one of the things with mules, though. That's why a lot of people have both horses and mules in the same area. Mules are not something you want to piss off. You can piss off a horse, but a mule is the one thing you don't want to piss off. Those things are freaking noisy. They'll bite the shit out of you, and they will legitimately curb stomp your ass to the ground until you are not breathing. Which is why a lot of these cowboys would always have a couple of mules. So basically a pack mule, but the pack mule is essentially a giant 5.5, 6 foot watchdog. They're aware of everything, but they are testy as a pissed off cat.
Yeah, and the whole thing about a mule is that mule is good for 1 or 2 acres. You have hundreds. That means you have to have, you know what I mean, more animals more mules on acreage than regular farm animals. Like my thing is like I just want to control the effing mountain lions coming down and saying, "Yeah, dude, we're gonna do this." No, y'all hit a fucking fence. You back up.
Well, see, that's the thing, though. If you really want to keep them out of your property, you're going to have to put an electric fence around 500 acres. It sucks because at the same time, it's going to eliminate pretty much anything else getting onto your property. But with 500 acres, I mean, me personally, if I had that much property, I would have to allow some sort of outside influence on that acreage because you're not going to be able to stop everything from coming in.
No, and like I just don't want the mountain lions getting, we don't want to hurt like a herd of cattle. We want 10, 15. Like we want to protect them. We have horses. Like that's what we want to do. Like I'm not saying I want all the acreage not to allow them to be around. It's like I get it. They live there too.
Yeah.
I get it. Y'all come down here and you mess with this, it's F around and find out. You know what I mean? Like, like I want my horses to be safe. And I'm not saying I want a bunch of cattle or whatever. Like, I'm not making this a ranch. I just want the small things that me and Tiff want together. The animals and stuff like that. I don't want mountain lions to just be able to walk up and say, "Hey, I'm killing this animal today, and it should be okay." No, you come here and yep, that's the last time you do so.
Well, yeah. But again, I mean, you have 500 acres. So if you're not using all 500 acres, give or take, we'll say, for instance, okay, 500 acres, your minimum range for homestead slash farm, blah, 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 we'll give a minimum acreage of 100 acres. So that still leaves 400 acres that, yes, you're probably using as pasture rotation, for both cows and horses. And we'll say even if you have like 15 donkeys, blah, 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 pigs and all that, you're using pasture rotation. I would leave, honestly, at that point, the last 100 acres that you don't use because, 500 acres is a lot of freaking land. 100 acres is a lot of land. Let them roam through that 100 acres. If they take a horse or two, yes, I understand it's lost and it sucks, but it could be worse because they could come farther in and then just decimate your entire stock of, say, horses. So if you have 50 horses, they could come all the way in and take out all 50 horses, and now you're out $100,000 because a freaking horse is not cheap.
No, they're not.
Which
Like,
the funny thing about that
and-
nowadays is back in the days, everybody had horses, and if you had a car, you're rich. Now,
Mhm.
2025, it's the other damn way around. Everybody's got a car, but somehow, if you have like 5 horses, by product standards, you're a damn millionaire. I got 5 freaking horses that are costing me like freaking $50,000 every couple of months because I gotta buy them freaking 40,000 bales of hay.
Two horses a month at bare minimum. Right now, bare minimum.
It's like $5,000 a month.
Uh, closer like bare minimum 3,000. Like that. Like that's. And I'm trying to
About
stretch.
$5,000 a month.
I'm trying to stretch it. $3,000 a month. That's 2 horses. $1,500 a month.
And now that's whether or not you are buying externally to feed those horses, or if you have your own property. If
No,
you have your own property, it's a little cheaper.
like my whole plan of going to Montana is I don't want issues with like whatever. The fucking mountain lions are gonna happen. Whatever. Like I know that. I'm still gonna have horses and cattle. Like, you know what I mean? Like I can work through the whole. Oh, there's a great guy there. His name is Jeremiah. He runs the crap out of the mountain lions every week.
Fucker.
You know what I mean? It's just when does it the $1,000 a week to pay him to run his dogs to run those off? Does it just cost me $1.75 and I shoot the fucking mountain lion because it doesn't learn? You know what I mean? Like I'm sure all of us have kids.
If you have the property, yes.
No, like I have the property, and that's the problem. Is I have the property, and he goes there. He's there once a week, and he runs the same two off every week. Like it's the dogs aren't scaring them enough to like. Yep, I'm not going to come down here, and he's going after. They're going after the person that owns the land below me's horses. You know what I mean? Like, yep, sorry. I'm not out to kill animals because I want a trophy at all.
Yeah, no, that I understand.
It's at what point is it that giving someone so get the fuck out of here, dude? No, go, go on, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it takes some extreme persuasion to keep something off your property.
So sorry for y'all. Like, like completely sorry. Someone just walked up in my yard and like, you know. Anywho, no, like I'm not against animals. I'm not against whatever. Like these two fucking cats need to die. Like that's the whole stint of what I'm getting at.
The only thing I can think of that would actually help solve that problem is to get the DNR involved. Be like, hey, look, these cats are a nuisance. They're taking out my livestock. I understand the circumstances behind all of this, but is there any way we can relocate them without actually killing them to a different spot? If they can say, tag them and, drop them off 500 miles away or 1,000 miles away, that could be beneficial to whatever without actually harming the cats.
And what's
But
weird is I didn't think of that, and thank you for saying that because that is something I will look into, like removing them. Like we we've removed bears from other hunting properties, and that makes sense. Like you know what I mean? Like I don't think 5 days down the road. I don't think 2 days down the road. I think like, oh, yep, this is a problem. I'm gonna move here. I need to remove this before I move there. Does that make sense
yeah,
to anybody?
well, that's why I suggested you don't necessarily have to, remove them from the gene pool. Just, relocate them to somewhere where they're going to be more beneficial, or at least somewhere where there's not, a farm or a ranch where they can possibly cause, hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of damage.
Yeah, like my uncle, he just opened up main, or it's not even open yet. Like the building's on the way of being built, a rescue in Maine for wild animals, deer, moose. They get hit, they get brought in. Like, I don't think his way. Like, I'm getting a property. I don't want to have a problem with. Oh, yeah, there's mountain lions everywhere. Does that make sense to everybody? I don't want to have to deal with a mountain lion. I'd just rather it be gone. And what you said, like, call it in as a nuisance.
Yeah, call it in as a nuisance and see if the DNR can't possibly relocate it or do some sort of, I don't know what the hell it's called. It's
Uh, uh,
I want to say re-education or something
yeah,
like along the lines, but
yeah. And like my whole thing is I know it's mom and kids.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like that's the worst thing you can work with is a mom with her kids. You can work with a mom before she has kids. The second she has kids, the whole mountainside's hers.
yeah, anywhere between like probably like a 50 to 100 mile range because them suckers they will travel a
Yeah,
long ass ways to get stuff.
yeah. And when there's food right there for them, they're not going to move.
Yeah, no, they establish a habitat right there,
Yeah.
which is again why I suggested you get with a DNR. Be like, hey, look, these are a nuisance. I'm losing money over here. Is there anything we can do to either relocate them or, maybe collar them for scientific study, but put them somewhere else where they're not causing me hundreds of thousands of dollars a year in you know cattle loss or
Yeah.
whatever.
Or, yeah. Cattle loss, period. I mean, I think in Montana you lose one cow because of one of them. The state pays you money, which is fucking stupid. Anyway, like I completely don't. I don't know.
I think it's what $3,000 to $5,000. I think is what your compensation rate is for a head of cattle.
Per cow, not a
Yeah,
head or a head, not
yeah,
just
per cow,
yeah,
not per horde or herd.
yeah. And like it doesn't make sense, and like my thing is I don't understand why I can't shoot the problem. You know what I mean? Like I can't shoot it. A homeowner cannot shoot the problem.
Again, because due to regulations of the particulars of the cat.
Yeah.
If you can clear that, we'll say quote unquote with like the DNR, and they actually physically give you permission because it's causing severe problems, that is usually the only time you can physically hunt something like that to remove it from the property, but only again if it's 100% causing severe problems.
Hmm.
Majority of the time, they're just there due to standard migration patterns or territory or whatnot.
Yeah. And I'm 100% on your side. It's an irritating law issue. I'm for all the laws, but they don't break the law. Yeah, I just spent $10,000 this year to this time to push two cats away, and yet they keep coming back. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I would have to legitimately and honestly, I would have to look into the laws on what would be considered like what the financial loss would be considered under nuisance If it's under that, category, then it's technically not a nuisance. But if it's above that category, then yeah, you can probably again file with the DNR and be like, look, this thing is costing me this amount every year. Can I
Yeah,
do
but
something?
like Montana, your cattle could walk across your property, break its ankle, and die, and it's not considered a loss. You know what I mean? Like there is no, in my mind, at this moment in time, I don't think there's a loss of creature or farming type stuff that there's considered a loss. Like a cow getting freaked out and stressed out and its belly separates. You know what I mean? Like that's not another animal's fault. They ran. It did its job. Yet it dies because it did that. That's not considered a attack on the animal. Like
I don't
that's
know.
what I don't understand. But there is like
All right, guys, I'm leaving.
All right, you got Jason?
I work in the morning.
All right, gotcha. I thought you had to work at 8 o'clock though.
Yeah. It's already
Oh,
11:30.
it's what, 11:30?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I got
All right,
traffic.
well, be well, Jason. Be safe. Take care. Good night, Molly.
Hey.
Have a wonderful day, and again, happy Mother's Day.
Jason, are you making money off iguanas?
Off of what?
Iguanas. Shooting iguanas.
No, I have never shot an iguanas.
I thought that was a big thing in Florida right now.
I'm not
He
in
lives
Florida.
in
I'm
Texas.
Texas.
Oh, my bad. My bad. I'll admit it.
I was gonna say, shit. If there's an iguana in Texas, I'd be goddamn shocked to hell.
I'd
Yeah,
already
no,
be there.
I don't know how I put you in Florida. That's my own thing, but yeah, it's like $15 an iguana in Florida right now.
That's because Daniel, just like you, or just like me, you were a few stiff drinks in.
I've only had two beers. I'm gonna sleep good tonight.
Man, what's the ABC on those, Jason?
On what?
On the beers that you drank, the ABC.
Only
Or,
two.
sorry, my apologies, ABV.
It's just a Michelob Ultra,
So that's what I think a 3.4,
like a 5 or something.
5. That's not too bad. I ran out of Jaeger, so like my third drink, that was it. I'm gonna sleep. Hopefully, I sleep like the dead tonight.
Oh, by the way, those FX hybrids are devastating.
The pointer or the hollow point?
The hollow points, it went through
Went through what?
the raccoon.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
Full
Are we
penetration.
talking BB gun stuff?
Air rifle.
Air rifle?
Yeah, Cliff has seen in the rounds how devastating they are, but I found out they went through.
Yeah, like I'm trying to figure out how to put out a video of 2,600 yards in a half-inch plate.
Just do it like you do any other video.
Put it this way: take a 177 caliber, and you take an army man, and you put it out. What was it? Was it about 50 feet? It's like shooting, like 200 yards.
That's not bad.
Yeah, so yeah, you take a little 2-inch army man and you put it out there. It's like seeing a real human at 200 yards.
I would say that a real human at 200 yards would be a little taller than an army dude.
No, visually.
Well, but you're talking about a 2-inch little plastic green dude at 200 yards versus anywhere we'll say 5'8" to 6 foot tall human.
Yeah, but yeah, you put it in like 40 feet. No, it's It would be the equivalent.
The equivalent of what?
The same size at 200 yards.
I'll be right back, gentlemen.
I did something at 2,600 yards.
Yeah.
And like our target is basically a Mountain Dew cap off a soda bottle, Coke bottle, and that's over a mile.
Mm-hmm. Well, I need to get
Yeah.
going so I can go to bed. I am winding down. Alrighty. I'll wait for Cliff to get back.
I'm getting ready for tomorrow. That's all I'm doing. I'm sitting here talking to you, reloading low ammo.
Yeah, I got tomorrow and Monday, then I got Tuesday, Wednesday off. And it's supposed to be good weather too. Maybe get a lot of yard work done.
Are you like you're Central Coast, Florida?
I can barely hear you.
You're Jason, right?
Yeah.
You're Central Coast, Florida.
Oh shit, that's actually kicking in. Big time.
I'm having trouble following.
Probably shouldn't be moving too fast right now because holy shit, that third one finally kicked in.
Now I got to deal with customers tomorrow, like always.
Yeah, you're telling me, and I shit you not, I swear to God, today everybody drank a double dose of fucking stupid water. Because Jesus Christ, customers were freaking retarded today.
Yeah. All right, I need to get going because it's 11:30 here.
All right, be well, Jason. Be well, be safe. Take care. Good night, Molly. Happy
Right.
Mother's Day.
Night.
All right, good night.
Make sure you take your stuff. Catch you guys on the next one. Ooh, they kicked off fast. All right, so we're probably not going to go too much longer, Daniel. We'll go like 9 more minutes, and then we're probably going to kick it off here because that third one's kicking my ass, and I don't have any more Red Bull, unfortunately. And I know what your ass has been drinking tonight.
What is that?
Spicy water, that cinnamon flavored.
Yeah.
Cinnamon flavored spicy water.
Yeah.
We'll say 93 we'll say 91 octane cinnamon water.
Yeah, probably more than that because we make it nowadays.
But yeah, probably same as me. I mean, my stuff is only like 35%, but that plus the Red Bull's kicking my ass.
You know the whole problem with adding a Red Bull into
Oh,
the whole.
trust me, I know what the problem is adding that shit, but Jesus Christ, that stuff doesn't taste good.
No, it like the Red Bull like works for like 3 seconds and for another 3 seconds, and then all of a sudden you're like, I'm lost. Everything's kicked in before the 6 seconds of the Red Bull.
Yeah, well, the biggest problem with all of that is the fact that it's all sugars.
Yeah,
So
and
unless you're running like freaking wind sprints on an active volcano, that stuff sits in your system for ages until you burn it all off.
you don't sleep. You don't do anything.
Exactly. Normally I don't do 3 on a live stream unless I like don't have to work in the morning.
No,
But
I think you put 2 in at the very beginning. You put 2 shots of Jaeger in there.
oh no, it's not 2 shots. A standard shot is like 1.
No. What I saw was 2. I'm not saying they're like professional, like you're at a bar. No, I'm saying I saw you do it, and I'm like, yep, it's Jaeger. That's 100% I'm not fucking drinking that shit.
Well, so the thing is, with a standard shot is 1.5 ounces. This is a 2-ounce cup, and I fill this sucker.
Yeah. Well, no. 1.5 is the American version of a shot. 3.2 is the UK version of a shot. That's just numbers. I don't care. You did completely right.
Yeah, which
It's
means next
you
live
get it.
stream I have to have a new bottle because that one's not gonna last my ass.
Yeah, no, but you did 2 of those, 2 American ones.
I did fucking 3.
No, I thought you did like at the beginning. I thought I saw you do 2 shots per Red Bull.
It's no, so again, American standards, a standard shot is 1.5 ounces. That
Yeah, it
glass,
would.
this little plastic cup is 2 ounces.
Mhm.
So I do 2 of these per
So 4
12-ounce
ounces.
Red Bull.
Okay, so you did 2 ounces. Okay, I'm not discrediting you. Like I was giving you credit. Like you did 2 shots per 1 Red Bull.
Yeah, per one standard 12-ounce Red Bull.
Yeah,
So
no,
it's
like
almost basically yeah.
I was giving you that credit. Like I'm
Yeah.
not taking that shit away.
No. I understand that. So by American standards of shots, that would put me at a roughly 6.5 shots. No, almost close to 9 shots of Jaeger in 3 hours.
Between me and you, I will never smell Jaeger again.
See, now I'm weird because I have technical European descent in me, so I happen to like the taste of black licorice,
Oh no,
despite being European and Spanish.
it's not the fact that I don't like the taste of black licorice. It's the fact that I did something and they gave me a half gallon and I drank the whole thing and I get $500 and I drank the whole thing. And I will never drink Jaeger again. I puked in my fish tank.
You know,
The poop,
I can understand that 100%.
you know what I mean? Like
Everybody
it's
likes that particular flavor, and especially again if you've had an entire bottle and you got sick from that, you're never gonna eat. It's like the same thing with Taco Bell. If you eat Taco Bell and that shit gives you food poisoning, like every time you eat it, you're not gonna touch that
yeah,
shit ever
yeah,
again.
no. And what's weird is I love the smell of Jaeger. Like I smoke a whole bunch of meals and I use Jaeger as some of my. I don't know, it's not seasoning. It's seasoning, but like I smoke my meat and I use it. And like I smell it and I'm like, "Rrr, rrr." Like no Jaeger bombs not happening.
I understand that.
I will do a Tootsie Roll bomb with anybody.
Ooh, no, that
All
one's interesting. What the hell is a Tootsie Roll bomb?
it's Kahlua and orange juice.
Oh, that just sounds terrible.
No, it tastes like a Tootsie Roll, like the candy.
Wait, what
It's
the hell? Oh, sorry. I literally Googled this and it says it's the name of. Hold on. I'm getting the fuck off of there. Tootsie Roll Bomb refers to the nickname for a 60 millimeter mortar round used by the Marines. Let's try that again. Let's Tootsie Roll Bomb mixed drink.
It's straight up Kahlua and orange juice.
Taking a sweet fizzy root beer and spiked it with smooth. What? Root beer and coffee liqueur.
No,
What
not like it's.
Oh, here it is. Sorry. Liquor, Kahlua, and orange juice. So that's a Tootsie Roll shot, not a Tootsie Roll bomb. Okay, so slight bit of a difference, but I figured it out. That just, honestly, to me, just sounds nasty. But I would maybe have to try that at least once to see if it tastes good.
I will tell you this right now. It tastes like a Tootsie Roll. like I've gone to bars in like the city I live in. I'm like, have you ever heard of a Tootsie Roll? And the bartender's like, nope. And I was like, it's this much this, it's this much this. And they're like, that tastes like a piece of candy. And I'm like, yeah, that's why it's called a Tootsie Roll. Like, you know what I mean? Like, regardless, I don't want you to go out and drink because I'm asking you to. You're asking me to do this. Like, all we're doing is projecting bad things on both of us. Because, you know, social media doesn't agree with how we talk, how we say stuff. And we need to at least keep one channel.
Keep one channel balanced.
Yeah. Like, like, I mean, I have a bunch of stuff to say. And I don't want to say it on your channel. Like, I really want to say it on the person channel that did it. It's all good. It, I do in what I can to help every channel out there. I do. It,
Yeah, see, I think at this point, you and me are both having the same problems. We're like heavily saturated with external forces, and our brains are just like,
no,
we're just starting to kick in.
no. I really want to say it. In my sense, in my YouTube, like, yep, I, my family comes first. That's why I have shorts, videos haven't been out. Like, I have a bunch of them. It sucks when you put out a fucking video and the second it hits somebody else that I don't know who it is, what the problem is, whatever. And I'm saying this live on your channel, it gets blocked. Like, that video doesn't go anywhere. Yep.
Oof, pardon me. I
Yeah.
have not honestly had that problem. I don't think I've pissed off anybody that badly.
No, and I don't think I did. And I don't, in my mind, I don't think I did either. It happened. And it's been happening.
Sometimes, honestly, you just get that one troll that just hates whatever you do. I mean, you could do something completely normal, be like, hey, look, here's a petunia that I just repotted into this planter from this planter here, And they're just like, you know what? Screw you. I'm going to report you for planting a freaking flower. I'm like, why? I've done nothing against community guidelines. Why you got to be a dick?
No, I kind of know where it came from because I said you shouldn't have dug the plant off the ground, out of the ground when it's wild. Yep, he used the plant. He did whatever. You know what I mean? Like I don't care. It's the fact that I have 19 videos that once you get bad rulings on, or you know what I mean, like, oh no, someone says something about this. You post something and say something, it doesn't do anything.
Yeah, sometimes the easiest way to get rid of a turd like that is just to block them from your channel entirely because, I mean, you got to figure it this way. A lot of plants that majority of us gardeners have planted, potted, or whatnot at some point came from the wild. Somebody went out there, harvested
No,
seeds
I like
during certain
my
plant
my whole
production.
comment was my whole comment was something growing wild, and it got set person dug the roots out of the fucking ground of that plant and should have just taken a little bit of it because that's what foraging is. It's not taking everything.
Well, no, if there's a like 30, 40 foot patch of one plant and you dig out one plant,
There
you're
was
not
a
causing any
thing.
problems with that plant or that particular
There
patch of
was
whatever's growing.
it was a single plant.
Yeah, you're taking one single plant. Yeah, I mean, from your standpoint, I can see that. I can see where this wood isn't a problem, or maybe
Like
or may
there's
not be.
nothing. Why this is wild onion. Wild.
Yeah, those
He,
things grow everywhere.
I know, but he took the whole plant out of there. Like you forage, you're not like you're taking a little bit. It's not you rip the fucking thing out of the ground.
Well, if you watch a lot of YouTubers that forage for a lot of that stuff, that's usually what they do is they'll dig out like 4 or 5 of those plants to use them for making their meals or whatnot. But there's still, 40 or 50, 60, 100 of those things still just growing around in the area. I'm not seeing the problem personally. You take 3 or 4 plants, it's an onion. The When an onion goes to seed, that's, depending on the size of the onion, anywhere between 100 to 500 seeds per onion plant. That's like a marginal percentage of removal.
Hang on. You're at a campground and you dig up the only wild onion plant from that area. Are you wrong or right?
Well, it depends on it depends on the
No, there is no. You dig the one that's there up.
yeah, but
Which
there's nothing stating that one plant is the entire plant for that entire campground because it's wild onion. Those things grow everywhere.
okay. I'm not gonna come to your garden and dig everything up out of it because that's disrespectful. In the wild, when stuff is growing wild, you don't dig up a fucking plant out of the ground, roots and all, when there's nothing but dirt around it. You don't dig that up out of the ground.
Well,
I don't care.
personally, I don't dig up plants to begin with because, that's just respect out of the, out of nature. But again, if you're in a, we'll say, quote unquote, survival situation.
No, there was no survival in it. It was a campground thing, and set person dug the plant out of the ground, the whole plant. You know what I mean? That's wrong.
But
That's
was it
me.
the only plant in that area, or was there more?
So, you think someone that's digs something up for their own consumption, they're gonna plant anything?
No, well, that I know for sure because they're digging it out, but they're not going to necessarily sit there and replant it. But the thing is, on that one, was it the only plant species in that area, or was there more of it just, here and there dispersed throughout the campground? Because if it was if it was particularly, say, the only species of that particular plant throughout the entire campground, then yes, I can see where that would be considered a problem. But if it's, say, like wild onion grows everywhere. There's going to be, patches of dispersed sections
But
of
here's
onion.
the thing. Here's the thing. If wild onion grows everywhere, there's no need to dig up a plant if it's around you. You can go cut a little bit, you cut a little bit here. Shit, there's only one plant. You can cut a little bit off it. No, set person dug that shit out of the ground and stopped it from colonizing and regrowing it on its own. Like, that's my problem. Like, as a plant person that like wants their garden to work, I walk up to your house and I was like, "Doo-doo-doo," and I dug set whatever plant out of the ground. You're okay with that?
No,
No.
on that particular painting, yes, I would be pissed if I planted something specifically for my own consumption and then some rando came up and dug it out of the ground. Yes, I would be pissed. But again, in the wild, a lot of that stuff is spread through birds, wind, general pollination. It's going to be it's not like there's only, like, say, an entire campground or whatever. You got 50 square meters of campground and there's only that one plant. Because I know for a fact that is never going to be physically possible. I've watched a lot of outdoor, YouTube channels, bushcraft channels where they run across just patches of wild onions. Yes, they'll dig out, 3, 4, 5 onions, whatever, but there's still patches of that stuff on the ground. As you
They
know,
don't. They don't completely dig that shit out of the fucking ground.
oh no, I've seen those dudes completely dig the
No,
entire
like
bulb and root
if
system
there's
out of the ground.
patches, like if you watch the thing I'm talking about, there's nothing. Yeah,
Yeah,
like,
they dig the top stem, the bulb of that, and the root.
I'm not trying to like fight with anybody. Like, I just know, like, I wouldn't fucking do what that person did, and yeah, I get the fucking feedback on that every time I talk on someone's live. It's like I put a video up. It's out 35, 40 seconds. Yeah, it gets taken down. It's all good. Like, I said my part.
No, well, I'm not discrediting you. I can see where you're coming from, and I can see where other people are coming from.
Understand what.
I'm not taking one side or the other. I can see where both parties are coming from. I can see from your standpoint exactly why you would think that would be wrong. But you also have to understand, in nature that stuff is just all over. It's not like the forestry service is just planting certain sections of this stuff. But from a property owner standpoint, to an
There's
yes,
uh,
it's a
a
problem.
little branch that's 6 foot, like 6 inches wide, and you dig it out from the bottom. So you take the roots, you take everything, and that wild onion is not going to grow in that area. Like, you destroyed a vegetable growing there, and that, like, no one understands that. Like, that's not okay. Like, oh yeah, we can kill 10,000 deer, and we have to stop for 4 years so the deer population comes back. Well, someone just dug up wild onion from the ground. How long is it for that area for wild onion to grow? Like,
That's 6 months, give or take.
Nobody thinks that way. They just think they can fucking take from this land. They
Well,
don't.
you got to figure it this way. How's that any different than harvesting mushrooms? You can
I
decimate
don't.
an entire section of mushrooms
You
for
can.
harvesting in the wild, but
No,
nobody
you can.
complains about
Like,
that.
if you harvest mushrooms, you can stop a whole state. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I know the circumstances. Like, that's my part. The person that did it doesn't think anything's wrong. I don't care. I said what I said. I stand behind it. Y'all don't want to agree with me? Like, that's who I am. I said it.
And again, like I said, as somebody who gardens, grows their own stuff, I can see the standpoint on that, and I can see the opposing standpoint on that as well. Like I said,
Yeah,
I'm
you
not gonna
did. You
100% agree or
you
disagree with one side.
you dig up a small batch of wild onion that's in the wild. You dig it up. What happens?
Honestly, the only thing that happens in that one spot, say you dig up, for instance, you dig up like a 2 square foot section of wild onion. Yes, that's not going to have wild onions for a while, but as long as there's wild onions around it or in the vicinity, somewhere along the lines, there's going to be more wild onions in that 2 foot space that you just harvested. It might take a year or two, but it's
Okay,
not
so
decimating the entire ecosystem by removing that amount of onion.
and I didn't say it was that. I'm saying is you just took the seeds. You like that. That's my whole thing. Like, I don't like. I honestly, like, he did it, and he made a fucking problem with me, and okay, cool beans. I'm just saying my side of it.
Yeah, and again, like I said, I
I'm
understand
not
it.
gonna I'm not gonna dig shit out of the goddamn ground for wild onions. You know what I mean? Like, that's ignorance. Like, people betray that they're this and that. Yet I say something, and yet I'm banned here.
Yeah,
I'm banned
yeah,
here.
you put your opinion out
I don't
as
care.
per what your
It's
legal rights
they
are.
need to understand you can't do that shit. Oh,
Yeah,
it's
you're voicing your opinion as per legal documentation, per press and whatever, and people get butthurt. I can understand it. That butthurtness is on their side because they want to be a snowflake. We have, as humans, we have the right to freedom of speech. If they don't like it, they can suck it.
yeah, and like, and I'm not like really on your live and whatever. I'm not trying to be an ass. I'm just
No, I know. I'm not saying that you are. I understand the standpoint that you're trying. You're on your best to be a realist. I'm the same way, which is why I don't do a lot of editing on my stuff. I put my stuff, I put my content out there as it is. I'm not trying to sit there and glorify what the hell I do.
I stopped putting videos out because I am 100% pissed off about what happened to me.
Like I said, the only thing you can do is report that guy to YouTube and be like, "Look, this guy is causing problems or whatnot, or however the hell you do it." I don't know what the YouTube report functions are anymore because half the time I just don't bother with people because if they're going to be stupid, I'm just going to let them be stupid because eventually karma's going to hit them, and yeah, that's going to be the end of it.
And like, no, you're 100% right. Like I started listening to Colin. I started listening to you, and I'm like, what I don't understand is how can one person stop my fucking videos going out? There's been 48 videos I think I've put out. They're all stopped.
Straight up just put out a video for that little bastard that keeps doing that. Be like, I shit you not. Put out a video titled to the little bastard that keeps blocking my stuff, and then just
But
put
my
out a
like,
video. Your mama's a bitch.
no, we edit, we do everything, we put it out there, and then conflict of interest, and that's what we keep fucking getting. Like, if dude doesn't have the fucking nuts to stand up against me and like say, "Hey, I'm doing this," yeah, well, you know what I mean? Don't fuck what I'm doing over. Be a fucking man. Like, we have 41 hours of videos. We try every day to do like shorts. Yep, no. It hits, there's a complaint.
Interesting. Yeah. Again, I don't know how to resolve that problem for you.
No,
Only
it's
thing
not.
I can suggest is deleting your channel and then starting over, which I know sucks some major donkey nods, but sometimes that might be the only way to solve the problem.
No, I 100% understand what you're saying. I do. Like, I do. It's I'm gonna be that asshole. Sorry for cussing yet again. That puts home dude or homeboy in his place. Because I, I don't lose anything, but by not my videos doing well.
Gotcha. Give me a second, Daniel. I'll be right back. I gotta go see a man about a bush.
Oh yeah, you gotta go take a piss.
Yeah. Shit, everybody's gone to sleep.
I can't see his comments, but how's everybody doing? Is everybody ready for Mother's Day?
All right. So, who all is left in the chat? Because at this point, I think the only two people in here are me and Daniel. Just talking back and forth about random things. And God Almighty, I need to drink some freaking water because holy shit, tomorrow's gonna suck.
Dude, I have to go to 2,900 yards tomorrow.
Yeah, so you should probably start drinking some water, brother.
No, I've been drinking water the whole time.
Yeah, that just happens to be cinnamon flavored water.
No, no, seriously, I've been drinking water the whole time. Like,
I swear to God, the last time I saw you fill that water bottle, it just happened to be cinnamon flavored high octane water.
yeah, that's for the wife.
Yeah.
No, I'm one, like, for real. Like, tomorrow is, I get $5,000 or 20.
Yeah,
I'm not,
$5,000 would help out. Shit.
yeah, I'm not, no. Yeah, like, whatever.
Hell, I'd take an additional $5,000, even if I, 5 or 20. Yeah, I prefer 20, but you know what? Shit, $5,000 still helps out. I look at it this way: that's $5,000 that I didn't have to work my ass off to get. Yet, mind you, operative phrase is work my ass off. I didn't have to, spend 40 hours a week trying to get that $5,000.
My uncle told me to bet tomorrow 25,000 per shot.
I don't know about that.
I've been to just over 2 miles. Like the good, like, yeah, like that's his thing. That's not me.
Yeah, I was gonna say, are you shooting the BMG tomorrow at 2 miles? Because that's a long motherfucking distance.
No, we were at 1.3 miles today, and we were within a half inch of each other. That's
Not
why.
bad at 1.3, but 2 miles depends on the height, wind condition.
Yeah, and I loaded my own ammo today.
That's still going to be a tough. That's still going to.
Yeah,
That's going to be a rough shot tomorrow.
That's like honest to God, that's like looking at your wife or your significant other's eyes and trying to figure out what's going through their mind. Like at that distance, that's what it is. It's okay. It's this, the
That's the
wind.
equivalent of hitting a dime at 500 yards with a 22 pellet rifle.
Yeah, like.
And the dime is sideways.
Yeah, I did. My qualifier was 250 yards with Mountain Dew cap. That I could shoot it and you could put it back on the cap and there's a hole in the middle of it.
750 feet.
Yeah, like, and that was with it wasn't with the BMG. That was my 308. Like we get to use
an iron sight or scope with a 308.
Scope. Everything's with a scope.
I would say a little bit of a skill challenge on that one, but not like
it's
high challenge.
Yeah, no, it if you're gonna line the dots up, it's like the simplest range you can shoot something with a 308. Like honest to God, Like that's the simplest thing. Like I'm not taking anything from anybody shooting, but if they shoot a rifle with a scope, that's easy. And then tomorrow, like uh, the factor between being tied for first and being first is first thing, and then my wife is going for tied for third and fourth on long gun.
As well.
You know what I mean? Like that's just yeah. That's our week. This week.
All right. Well, we are at the 3 hour and 30 mark there, Daniel. I'm actually surprised I went this long, considering. So I think I'm going to end it here, brother. I'm really, I'm usually not much of a gun person. I don't do a lot of shooting other than like 22 rifle, which to be honest, I haven't done in years because the only thing I really shoot are pigeons that piss me off every once in a while. But I will say this: I hope you do well tomorrow, brother. I hope you get good score on your targeting. I hope your target or your grouping is tight. So be well, be safe, brother. And again, get a good night rest for tomorrow, and let me know how you do after the tournament. We good? Oh, I think you froze. Well, shit. Either way, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be Foxit Outdoors and Daniel from TD Outdoors and Knives signing off. We will catch you folks on the next one. Be well, be safe. Thank you for watching me for this 3.5 funky hours. Be well, again, be safe. Happy Mother's Day for those of you who have children. And if not, well, either way, be Happy Mother's Day. Blah. Tired. It's been a long one. Be well, be safe. Take care, folks. Have a good one.